How many cars have you had in your life?
This is my third.
What was your first?
It was my ex-girlfriend's dad's PT Cruiser. He just gave it to me pretty much. But when I had that car and I was living with my ex, I was just parked right outside. Some fucker crashed into it, some bitch. Well, she was kind enough to leave a note though.
Yeah.
Sweet.
She was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I hit your car, blah, blah, blah. So I called the number. She was like, I live down the block.
Nice.
And so I got the insurance payout. And then I just went on Facebook and bought the Subaru.
How much?
I paid $4,500 for that thing.
Alright.
Yeah, cars are cheap.
Yeah.
Well, it's because of the internet. They're easier to find.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got this on Facebook Marketplace, right?
No, I got this from Car Gurus.
Okay.
Yeah, Car Gurus is a dangerous, very dangerous website when you have like a little bit of money to burn.
Yeah.
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 Super easy.
Yeah.
You just go in, you get a fucking car, and that's it.
Was this your first choice?
What?
Was this your first choice?
No, actually. So there's an interesting story behind why I chose this car. So, you guys know how I'm like super into manifesting and shit, right?
Yeah.
So, I tried out like affirmations and shit. I basically wrote a list of what my actualized life looks like my desired life, like what are the things I want. Like 15 years from now, what do I actually want my life to look like? So I made a list. Like all sorts of things were on it, like, oh, I wouldn't, I'd be financially independent, I get to travel a lot, I get to practice swordsmanship every day, and, all the shit that's basically me. You would see this list and be like, yeah, this is pretty Chris. But one of the things on the list was like, for some reason, I just wanted to drive a muscle car, like a Mustang. And like, I did that for a while, and I would do my little rituals and shit. And then my car breaks down, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna need a new car. And I was kind of saving for it too. So I just started surfing like Car Gurus, and then I saw a great deal on this thing. It's 5-speed manual, and I was like, yep, gotta get it. It's fate. So yeah, manifestation works, guys. Like, it really does work, but you gotta do it right. You can't do it out of desperation. It has to be like, you have to do it in a weird way. You can't be like, I want this, I want this. You have to like say with none of that self-doubting, self-defeating dialogue in your head. You got to be like, I drive a Mustang, even if you don't have one. You just say it like every day, without any like reservation. So you should do it alone. Like, you shouldn't do it around people. You should do it when you're by yourself, and then you do these affirmations, like stuff that you want to happen. You speak as if it's already happening, and then you do that enough times, and supposedly it creates ripples in the metaphysical reality. And it causes, like, it tunes not just you, but it tunes your environment to kind of reflect what you're trying to affirm. And the Mustang isn't enough yet to really like confirm it as like non-pseudoscience. Like I gotta keep doing it more and see. But I think things come together. When I want something, I don't try to force it to make it happen. I just become the person where that thing that I want happens too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like with the podcast, like I wanted to start a podcast. Instead of just like making it happen, I had to become a person who does podcasting. Or it's like, I want to expand it, then I have to become the person who's going to, facilitate an expansion of that kind of thing, which is what we're doing now. I mean, you could say it's like psychosomatic effects.
Yeah, I can see it as a psychosomatic effect.
But my question is, what the fuck is the difference? It's if like the way you engage your reality is always going to be psychosomatic. If every outcome is heavily influenced by your psychosomatic state, then what's the difference? It's really like, do you believe reality is downstream from consciousness, or do you believe consciousness is downstream from reality? That's really it. Once you make that decision, then you're going to operate in life one or two ways. You're either going to be the thermostat or the thermometer. The thermometer only reacts to its environment. The thermostat actually sets the temperature of its environment. So it's a personal thing, really. Like, which would you rather be, the thermostat or the thermometer? And it's a very hard decision for like people in a modern societal paradigm, because in modern society we glorify like the critiques, the critics, the judges with cultural authority or something, like authorities in a field. We expect them to kind of like dictate our reality, and we respond to it by behaving in accordance to a specific paradigm or
To a managed world, to a scientifically managed world.
Exactly. And like, yeah, I'm not completely done with that, you know, like I'm not completely like giving up on that, on materialist reality. I just open up more to the non-materialist worldview and reality view. So yeah, that's the story of how I got a Mustang. So what I'm gonna do with this footage is I'm just gonna like go through it, cut out the interesting bits, like isolate them, and then I'm gonna cut that into our main podcast episode.
That's cool.
Better off.
Better you got.
Yeah, fucking yeah. It sounds
Better
exciting.
you got.
Yeah.
This is your dream of being a producer, Rich.
Yeah, I get to be Jamie from Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Is it his dream? You want to be a producer?
No, yeah, sure. I'm
I
a
could show
producer.
you, dude.
Yeah.
I could show you everything there is to know. I mean, the skills for me it wasn't easy, but it was simple. As in, like, all I had to do was grind for fucking 15 years to acquire the skills that I did. But like actually doing it, like I just had to show you. It didn't take me so long because it was hard to do. It just took me so long because it's like over the years, it's like starting from when you're a broke teenager, it's like, oh, well, I have to get an audio interface. I have to get like monitor speakers. I have to get a decent computer. I have to learn how to use a DAW. So it's like not only did I have a learning curve, but I also had like a budget curve.
Yeah, I was like that too.
But
Just
now
for
it's like,
years,
but now I have the shit. You know, like now I have all the shit, and you know, while I've accumulated all the skills, now I could also like apply the equipment that I've accumulated as well.
Right.
I can show you how to use it. I can show you how to do it.
Sick.
Hilarious.
I was thinking of like that shirt, and I was thinking of getting the most racist man alive T-shirt.
Oh, that was great. Well, you shook Chris your hat, right? Your BWC hat?
Oh no, I
Big white
did.
cock?
Yeah, no,
good.
I got it for $1 from a street vendor, and I think Rich found it, and it was like, oh, this is a perfect hat for me.
That's good. Yo, Richie, who was that cute girl at your party that spoke French?
Who was that? Yeah. Do you describe her to me? I'm so drunk, man.
She was cute, skinny.
Brunette?
Well, I call all of them like that, but yeah.
Was it Ruby?
Is that her name?
She's short, blonde.
No, she's brunette.
I got to ask you. I probably knows her. Or our roommate Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she comes up to me. She goes, "Are you a mechanic?" Because I was just wearing the Carhartt jacket.
Yeah.
And then I thought she was serious. I was like, no. And then she said she was joking, and I was like, are you a comedian? Like,
Black Lives Always Matter.
Oh yeah, Black Lives Always matter. My usual. Wow, we really needed a third guy. So
Yeah,
my
true.
usual response was is always like, let's be honest. Very few lives actually matter,
Yeah.
because that's the truth.
Oh man, fuck.
What?
The Albanian adult daycare.
Oh, I missed that shit.
Yeah.
Real Latina.
What?
It's real Latina.
Are they? I thought they were like Slavs.
Oh, he's Slavs? Shit.
Yeah. Maybe not. Just look at the grandma.
Yeah, babushka.
Yeah. another exciting episode of the Terrorisk podcast.
Yeah.
We're here with a secret invisible guest who will never be seen on camera.
That's not true.
He'll be seen on camera plenty of times.
Yeah, he's basically our beloved intern.
Yeah. Give a shout out to our intern Richie.
Yeah. Well,
You can talk, man.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I'm
You
used
don't
to
have to be
that-
mute. I know you're.
I'm used to
you're-
not
you're-
talking a lot.
You're locked in. What?
Yeah.
yeah. At least you could see us, so you could see us from OBS. You know, it's like you could talk to the screen when you have to talk at us,
Okay. Yeah.
as if you're in another room, but you're
That'd be
really.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you talk, make sure you talk into the mic.
Right.
Yeah. Talking to the mic.
Yeah,
as
like
we
right
just
now,
said.
like talking to the mic.
If you want to. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi guys.
Hey.
Glad to be on.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay. Not too much talking.
Yeah. So, yeah, we started collecting footage from our day to day outside of this podcast.
Namely, this one day, while we were driving over here in a long, arduous trek through rush hour. Thank you, Chris, for making the long trek to me and Richie's house in Brooklyn.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah. I mean, also, I'm assuming your car is so fun to drive. It must be entertaining.
No, not in traffic. It's just driving back was a lot more entertaining because I have we were talking and shit and getting
Yeah,
footage,
you're right.
so
Yeah,
it's fun.
getting there was, I'm sure. Yeah.
I was gonna say this is really the way it has to work. I mean, not just for this podcast. I mean, or our Terrorisk brand, but you really like people underrate how important the silent cameraman, like the third. He's basically like
Yeah.
the third person. You know, it's like the person.
The silent producer.
Yeah, and like they do kind of communicate with the audience without like in a less obvious way.
You're right. They communicate by like the jump cuts, as you see on the Joe Rogan Experience, wherein that's all Jamie's being on top of things, making sure that it flows and gets edited correctly. And
Well, my favorite moments, like with the camera guy, is usually like if you ever watch a documentary like following Taylor Swift's tour or something.
no, I've never watched a Taylor Swift.
That's just an example. I'm
Okay.
saying like let's say like something bad happens and someone steals Taylor Swift's underwear and she's like crying and flipping out.
Yeah.
The cameraman starts like first like zooming in on everything and then zooming in like directly on like Taylor Swift's like face, like crying, and
Yeah.
then like you get a reading of the scene, and suddenly like the camera pans down to her crotch area, and no one
yeah,
says
I'm
it,
sure that's yeah.
but that's what I'm talking about. Like that's an example of.
I mean, for every single found footage film has some gimmick or bit scene. Often, like the number of found footage films that have the conceit of a documentary crew and the cameraman just keeps filming. But
yeah. But I think the reason why this would work for us is because I think we have like interesting enough conversations. It's not that I think we have the most interesting conversations. It's I hang out with people,
yeah,
other groups, and I see the shit they talk about.
I hang
and
out
I'm
with
like-
people too.
Well, I mean, you see the shit that a lot of.
That's true. No, I'm sorry. Finish that. I'll stop being snarky. Please continue what you're saying.
No, I mean that's you pretty much that was it. It was like that's you pretty much got your finger on that pulse,
Yeah, we're here to start a conversation.
Say what?
We're here to start a conversation. I said
No, I mean usually like when
we're here to raise awareness.
well, it's also it's all right. You know what I think makes our
We're
conversation
here to amplify Asian American Pacific Islander voices.
You know what I think really
If
makes
you need me to amplify your voice, just let me know.
Thanks, Mr. White Man.
You're welcome.
You know what I think really makes our conversations good? It's because when I'm in other social situations, I could tell that there's a line that these people don't want to cross. Like normal people, like people I see in the dojo, people I
Yeah.
see, like in a work setting, or people I meet at the garage or something. I'm like, I'm not going to talk about like what the Hasidic Jews are doing at a certain restaurant when I was,
Yeah, exactly. What are they up to?
or I'm
What-
not going to talk about the racial phenotype of this girl I fucked off of Tinder and why that's significant, as to like how she portrays her femininity and all that shit. Like all sorts of things.
Wait, you've had sex with a black woman?
Yeah. a couple.
Nice, nice.
You didn't think I've ever had sex with a black woman?
What? I wasn't
Actually,
sure.
That's a fair guess. Wait, do you ever think about that? Like, I don't think Chris would ever.
I'm not imagining it happening.
No, I mean whether I
But-
would or not. Whether I would. Like, would you? Did you?
Yeah,
ever,
I think about that with a bunch of people. I think about those things. Usually the answer is yes.
Yeah. Who's the hottest like famous black woman you know? I have an answer. What do you? I want to hear yours first, though.
Zoe Kravitz. I don't mean to just list light skins, but Zoe Kravitz.
Yo, Richie, what does Zoe Kravitz look like? Can you pull her up?
I can.
Nice, Rich. Nice.
Thanks. I want to see.
Well, for just me listing the famous black women.
No, just the hottest famous one that you know.
Currently, I mean, she's light skinned, but very much. Let me hit that, please.
Oh yeah, and pass it.
Hmm?
Yeah, pull it up on the screen. Wow, she's kind of a looker, huh?
Yeah, she's Zoe. Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet, I think. Basically, it's she's the daughter of Lenny Kravitz and the eldest daughter from the Cosby Show.
You don't have to blow it up to that extent. I think the browser works a little slower while we're recording, so just
that makes sense.
But all right, so my pick is Azalea Banks. I think she is not. She's not. It's not her looks that does it. For
mean,
she's
personality.
deranged, yeah.
If we're going off of personality, Doja Cat for me.
Really?
I fucking love Doja Cat.
I mean, she's like a Nazi or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she's a 4chan Nazi, not a real Nazi.
Yeah. Doja Cat is a Channer, African, and Jewish.
Yo, look at Azalea Banks' forehead. I feel like I could nut twice on that forehead.
What about
a very strong five head?
like Brittany Venti?
Brittany Venti?
Richie deliberately selecting a woman who's like 1/8 black.
She definitely counts. Come on.
Yo, I remember this one white.
Yeah, under segregation.
Yeah, okay. That's a black chick. All right. Yeah. She's about as black as like fucking Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
Yeah, hon.
I'm trying to think. Hottest celebrity black woman. Well, Azalea Banks. She's like, I don't know. She's got the aesthetic of. Like,
Also, I'm just talking about contemporary, hot right now. Yeah, Azalea Banks is a great personality.
But as far as Doja Cat being a 4chan Nazi, it's like it's like whatever. That's not being.
Yeah, it's not that unique or anything. There's plenty of girls out there like her, actually.
Yeah.
I still think she's adorable and interesting and cute and beautiful.
Who's your least favorite famous black woman, like looks wise? Like, who do you think is the most busted famous black chick?
Who's that one black chick? She's all like Community.
He's on it. He's like,
Yeah,
I know, I got one.
She's really fucking it away. Fuck.
She's fine in the show. I forgot the character's name.
Looks very primate like.
Like Leslie Jones or
Leslie
something?
Jones, yeah.
Was she on Community?
No, she's on some show. Like
Oh, I know who.
Yeah, I was going to say Leslie
I know
Jones.
who you're talking about.
But yeah, Rich jumps to the chance.
She doesn't even seem fully black.
Yeah.
She's incredibly black.
Oh, that chick. Okay,
Like
yeah.
6'1".
You're supposed to bring it up on screen, Rich.
Oh my god. This is so.
I got too excited.
Oh, Leslie Jones. Sorry, Leslie.
I really feel bad for her. She's straight, by the way, which is surprising to a bunch of people. And then her nudes were leaked by Milo on Twitter.
Honestly,
and then that's what got him banned.
That's
That's insane. I had no idea.
Straight up, that's the exact kind of black woman that constantly matches with me on Tinder. Like, if I stop giving a fuck and just like swipe. Sometimes I get in that mood, and then like when I all like.
Ooh, you have 6 new matches. They all look like her.
Yeah, like 7 out of 10 would be like black chicks, just like some masculine looking black chick who just wants like a twink Asian guy to like slap around.
Well,
maybe.
probably more than anything, she likes anime and is desperate. Or, frankly, yeah, probably swipes on a lot of people.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just burping from
right.
the heavy meal we had. Tyla is very pretty,
Tyla?
but I think she counts as colored in South Africa.
Does this-
TYLA?
TYLA, yeah.
Is what we're doing right
No,
now.
I think this is great content. Already, we're off to a much better start.
Well, I was
than-
going to say, does this count as fetishization?
But, well, I'm here, so yes.
You're super into that kind of thing.
Not the black guy, right?
Yeah.
You're on the buck breaking at all?
Not a buck breaking, no.
Well, there was this, one of the new episodes of Black Mirror was like oddly racially charged.
Oh, yeah? How so? What was it?
So it was called, the episode's called Hotel Reverie, and basically it takes place in the 1940s. Well, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't take place in the 1940s. What it's about, it takes place in the modern era, but like a movie studio who is in charge of like producing and being the custodian for all like the Centennial movies, like black and white films.
Mhm.
They were going under. So a new production company who's like super into AI and shit.
Yeah, I'm listening.
like they decided to recreate it, basically like, you know, redo the movie but in like the same aesthetic, and they recast the lead actor who was like a white male from the 40s with a black woman
Ooh, interesting. Go on.
yeah, a modern era. And she's like, it was just interesting watching like this black woman like hitting on this 1940s white woman. It was supposed to be like some Gone with the Wind type romance shit, you know.
Oh, that's a good concept, actually.
Yo, can you Google that? Actually, Hotel Reverie, Black.
This
Mirror.
is also they're playing San Juniper again.
Yeah, but
where they're literally like, okay, the key to having is it a sweet emotional episode? The key to it is apparently a white female, black female.
That's not how you. That's reverie, not revelry.
Remember?
Yeah, Reverie.
R-R-V-E.
Like reverie, like a memory, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
No, like a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just. It sounds like I haven't seen the episode. It sounds like they're just doing another.
Yeah,
they
like
didn't
this
make her.
shit.
She's kind of. She's okay.
No, it was actually. I actually liked this episode. I dug it. The one after was way better, but yeah, this was actually not bad. So basically, it's basically supposed to be, but the whole problem is like once she's in there, she starts like delivering the lines in a weird way,
Like a Clark Gable way.
yeah, like calling the actress by her name instead of the character by accident, and suddenly the character becomes like self-aware. So she starts like sincerely falling in love with the actual person and not just like the Clark Gable figure, you know.
What's the emotional tone of the episode?
At first it was like very playful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, this is weird. What am I doing? I'm an actress and I'm in this weird doohickey thing. But then it turns it's very heart wrenching. It's like, oh, this is actually like kind of painful. You know?
Is it played as a romance or as a horror?
It's a tragic romance.
Okay, that's how I figured it out.
Because like the character in question that the lead falls in love with is like this. She's not a real person.
Yeah.
She's like a reflection, but the reflection was made sentient by the treatment of the interactions with the actual person.
Yeah.
But then, like, towards the end, it's like, all right, we fixed the system. Now we got to finish it up, say the last line, and we could pull you out. And she's like, but I don't want to go. It's San Junipero, basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like they just did it again,
That's
but
that's exactly what they fucking did. But it was oddly enough,
right down to the makeup of it. But yeah,
I don't know why these tragic lesbian romances are like turning out to be the best fucking episodes of Black. Actually,
Rich.
San Junipero wasn't even that good.
it's a decent episode. It's upbeat and cute. It's like a cute episode, but it was perfectly designed to appeal to queer women, queer college-age women.
But
I went on a date with a Virgin Islander girl right after that episode came out.
did you see San Junipero?
Yeah, she fucking loved that episode.
Yeah.
You know, she was on a date with me and mentioned how she was queer and pansexual.
However, I don't think those episodes would appeal to like MTF type people because they'd be like, ugh, this is just ugh. Like, why don't you?
I feel like MTFs would like. MTFs definitely like San Junipero because the white woman kind of looks like she could be trans or an idealized trans. Another thing is that so many MTFs have body dysmorphia and body detachment in part due from being too online and playing girls in video games. So that's exactly like that episode is like a fantasy item for a trans woman.
This new episode, though, what was really funny about it was there was like a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah.
They were like, we'll take Ralph's face and then we'll put it over one of the Ryans, and it's
Yeah.
like Ryan Gosling. Oh, you mean Reynolds? You know, so and the lead black chick
Yeah.
actor, she was pissed because she was like, I want something creative. Where's my Casablanca? I'm tired of being like the fuckable sidekick of like Ryan Reynolds, the secret agent. You know, like.
I don't know if she'd be cast as that, but maybe she would be, but.
And they actually had like a poster with like Ryan Gosling on it, standing next to her. So it was good. It was But I got what they were going for. They were clearly trying to make a play. Like a lot of these new Black Mirror episodes are trying to make a play on AI generated like Infinite Jest type narratives.
Well, yeah, Infinite Entertainment.
Yeah, where it's like,
yeah, I'm sure they saw AI breakthroughs and they said our entire season has to be referencing them.
AI, yeah,
Yeah.
It's all really it's so far it's all been AI. The first one was scary though, the subscription based brain thing that was like fucked up because I could actually, you know, you could clearly see that happening. It's just I don't think even like the most desperate person to live would be like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna start spitting out ads randomly just so I could live and you know not have to leave too far from my home. It's like, no, I would just say put a fucking bullet in me at that point. I'll be like, just fucking do it. Like, just kill me. which spoilers is how the episode ends.
Yeah, I'm not
The
too
wife
surprised.
is like, the wife is like, just fucking kill me, and the husband is like crying.
Well, nothing will top the Black Mirror episode that was. What if two guys are on the
That's my favorite.
DLD?
That's my favorite
Really?
fucking episode. My favorite, Striking Vipers. I even know the name of it.
Yeah.
And I love it because it was Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that episode. The best.
What if you're? What if? As a black dude, what if I was a Hoppa woman in a video game and I got to fuck my friend?
If I was really
Literally, that's the episode.
If I was-
that these two,
Yeah, shit.
if I was truly that committed to this, to how much
also transracial.
I would get a tattoo of like two vipers like striking each other just as an homage. This is such a good episode. It's so funny. It's literally the funniest episode of Black Mirror in my
Yeah.
opinion. I don't think there's any episode of Black Mirror that tops it.
I actually hated it.
Yeah, he's mentioned it. Yeah, as being a buck, advanced buck breaking technique.
This is it's such a fucked episode too. Like it's not good.
Who wrote this? Like, this is a good idea for an episode. What if these two guys were gay?
Would be great if a white guy wrote it. Might be.
It would be really funny if the white guy, Steve McQueen or something, wrote the fucking episode.
Or it would be really cool.
Turns out that Tariq Nasheed wrote the episode.
It would be really cool if it was originally like written as two white characters, but then like
Oh, that'd be really great
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
were like, no, we want more diversity casting. And instead it's just two gay niggas.
and it's like, let's punch it up a bit. Let's make it black. And it's like, ooh, that's good.
Richie, do you want to explain the gentleman we're looking at right now? You're the super fan. Try to give it.
I'm not a super fan.
It'll take too long for you to formulate.
He's
Tariq
number
Nasheed?
one race baiter on the planet. In his own words.
He's a guy.
Ex-pimp, probably? Ex-pimp?
Ex-pimp or drug dealer. He's like an
Ex-prostitute
internet
as well.
figure that became a prominent hotep.
I love him already.
He's the guy who directed the buck breaking documentary.
That's amazing.
With all the absurd claims of gay slavery.
Right. No. First of all,
Which-
you said something interesting. I've been wanting to acknowledge this for a
Yeah.
long time. I don't think a lot of people, like especially white people, I don't think they acknowledge this enough. But there is actually Hotep is a spectrum. All right, there's a very wide spectrum and different flavors of Hotep people. It ranges from like the schizoid black Hotep guy who really does believe the shit, like, oh, Yaqub created the white people and all that shit.
Yeah, Nation of Islam guy.
And then it works its way down. Yeah.
Temple.
And then there's the spiritualists. The spiritual Hotep people are funny. Like Cat Williams is like kind of like,
A lot of blacks have some bit level of Hotepism. You're right, that's a spectrum throughout the black American population.
but they take it from like Kemet stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of it's like Egyptian based because to them they're
Well, a lot
like,
of it's from Nation of Islam and Wallace Fard Muhammad.
yeah, where did that stuff came post Christ, didn't it?
Yeah, and you know the story of Nation of Islam?
Well, I know Islam in general came after.
It did, but it's not real Islam. It's a different wacky black American cult from
What,
which
Black
all
Islam?
Hotep comes.
What?
Yeah,
Nation
black.
of Islam,
Yeah,
NOI.
yeah, yeah. It
Please
started in the 1920s.
I
A
wanna hear this
guy,
from a white guy.
Wallace Fard Muhammad. Yeah, as a white man here, I'm the best person to
He's the
explain
ex-
Nation of history. I'm an expert. I have a degree in blackology
Oh no.
from Trump University.
Oh no. Okay, so continue. Nation NOI.
Okay, in Detroit, Chicago, the middle north of America. I'll get to it in a second. The Great Northern Migration started in like turn of the century. No, it's like 1920s or something, when a bunch of the black population migrated from the south to the north to work in factory jobs. This is why there's a large black population in Chicago, New York, everywhere up north. In 1890, there was barely any blacks in New York City. In 1930, like 10% of New York's population was black American.
That's a lot more.
It was a massive immigration wave from within the country, internal immigration.
Good. Now-
Face discrimination there.
New
but
York
they
City
also
got
able to-
funky
Yeah.
for the first time.
A lot of alienated young black guys up north, and they had gone up there in part to escape segregation, part for work. Often life was way more complicated or difficult up north than they were hoping. It was briefly a promised land within America for a lot of black Americans. This guy, Wallace Fard Muhammad, shows up. We do not officially know his race, but he's likely Afghan and white, or just an Afghan guy. But multiple times, you don't know when he came to America, probably
be
born in New
Mossad.
Zealand. This is before Israel was founded.
Oh shit.
1920s, man. He showed up and said that he was black.
Imagine if he is a Jew.
Possibly. He said saying that he was black to the black American population, alienated young guys, and he started his cult, the Nation of Islam. Multiple arrest records before that point. He would give different races, give his races white, Mexican, what have you. And he was drawing from something called the Moorish Science Temple, which was a pre-existing like proto-Hotep
Sounds like
organization.
Scientology shit.
Yes,
bro.
it's literally Scientology. So he preached what he claimed was Islam to the black American population of, the North, the Midwest. He said that this is where everything with Yaqub, the mad scientist Yaqub, comes from. He claims that 6,600 years ago, a mad black scientist named Yaqub was filled with self-hatred, and he was bullied by other, because at the time, you see, blacks were the masters of the world and the only race.
Richie, can you type in Yaqub and Anna Taylor-Joy? You know the actress. You got to see this picture. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. So Dr. Yaqub, who was born with 2 brains, which is why he has a giant
Really?
head. Yeah.
Two
Literally, he
brains?
has 2 brains. That's why his head's giant.
Look at this picture. Isn't that amazing? That's incredible. Someone had to hand her that T-shirt. Can you be like, can you hold it up while I take a picture, please?
Wow.
Dude, I want that. I want that picture on a T-shirt. Like
That
a
was
picture.
real.
I want a picture of her holding the shirt on a shirt. You know.
In all of his hatred and rage for the black race that had rejected him for being a dark skin, Yaqub started selectively breeding people
Until they're paler and paler
yes,
and paler.
to breed up the evil of them and to breed out all their good qualities.
Which is the blackness.
Yes, exactly, the melanin.
I follow.
He created, and in the process, he created all the races of the world. Finally, his most evil creation,
The white man.
the white man.
Just the idea of the progression makes it super funny. It's like he's like, all right, we made them a little more evil. Now we have Latinos.
Yes,
It's like-
literally, that's
it's
what they
like, all right,
believed.
now we
He
got-
created the different races of the world, and they're selectively less black than the white race.
It's like, let's make them more evil, and then we have Asians. It's like, all right,
Yes,
all right,
literally.
now let's crank it up to
Oh.
11. It's
Yeah,
like he's got these
and he
blue eyes.
created the albinoid race.
Yo.
The albinoids or Yacubians are the white race.
That's so funny.
And for 6,000 years, the white race ruled and dominated the world. But now after 6,000 years, it will be the decline of the white race, and the black man will return to his rightful place on top of the universe.
You know, this goes to show how really easy it was, especially back then, to just create like this religious shit.
And you know what he did was interesting. A lot of it is Islam, but he's
Retooling it. That's like me retooling Christianity into saying like, oh, Christ was like Buddha.
Yeah,
You know, these
even
were-
more so because basically the black guys he was tied to, they had a vague idea that Islam was a religion, but they had no experience with it. They had no idea what they just knew of it as.
So he was able to manipulate it and create like basically new like
Yeah.
forms of Christianity was probably made.
Yeah, literally, it's a heretical form of Islam that's so different because of its absurd, insane racial stuff. Like Muhammad's still there, but he's black. But he's not as prominent as Wallace Fard Muhammad.
So black people do like the opposite of, remember what I said Asians do to things?
Yeah.
Like the black people, it's like, they'll look at Islam and they'll be like, nah, we could make this, we could punch it up a bit. Or they'll look at Judaism and they'll be like, nah, they're not doing it right. we got to add some stank on it,
Yeah.
So that's how you get the Israel, the
Black Hebrew Israelites, who are all these groups, by the way, this whole culture is all. There was something earlier called the Moorish Science Temple that I don't know as much about. That's from like 1900 or
Rich,
so.
if you search
But
stuff, you
there's
got to make
some-
sure that the audience.
Yeah.
Don't worry, he's getting the hang of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
sorry,
is.
I'm just thinking of the
No,
audience.
you're getting it. You're getting it, dude.
I searched for it actually, audience.
No,
These
all right,
guys-
no, he's got his own method now. He's got
Yeah.
his own MO, his modus operandi. He's in it. So yeah, these people, none of them. And you know what's interesting?
There's a bunch of them in New York.
Yeah, the Black Hebrew Israelites in New York are the best. And as Nick Mullen puts it, they always dress like they're in Final Fantasy or something.
Yeah, they're wizard robes.
Yeah.
Like Power Rangers.
I mean, if I started a religion, would I want costumes? No, I don't think so.
Oh, come on. Yeah, I have a costume, man. Okay, so
If I started a religion, it would just be about swords,
yeah.
like all kinds of swords. Your soul is your sword. Your sword is your soul. And then you unzip your pants. You're like, yes, this is my sword.
I didn't have an interaction, but I saw a fun interaction on the train between a black Hebrew Israelite and
I want to see a Nation of Islam guy debate with a black Hebrew Israelite guy.
I'm sure it does happen.
I bet they
because
get
they're
along
the same
super well.
community.
And then
Or they have like various conflicts.
and then a real Muslim and a real Jew comes in and they're like, get the
Yeah.
fuck out. No one invited you fucking. Like,
Yeah.
No one invited you people. Like,
wow, good luck with the Jew kicking them out as opposed to both of them yelling at the Jew.
no, I'm saying the black Hebrew Israelite and the Nation of Islam guy kick out the real Jew and the real Muslim.
Oh, yes.
And they're like, get the fuck out.
They would, yeah.
No one invited you. Like,
When Israel Palestine popped off, there was a great encounter. There's a protest in like Chicago, and a bunch of black Hebrew Israelites showed up to protest against Israel, but also to say that they were the proper owners of Israel. And they got into a fist fight brawl with all the Arabs that thought they were just pro-Israel because they were called black Hebrew
no, they were
Israelites.
real Israeli.
Yeah.
They were real Jews. Like the
And there was a misunderstanding between them, and it had a brawl that was broken up by the cops.
Well, could you imagine, like, if they successfully stopped the brawl, made their position clear, Muslims heard it, and they were like, yo, we gotta fuck these guys up.
Yeah, they do, because actual Muslims say this is awful. This is not real Islam. They find it a horrendous offense.
But then what the fuck is real Islam? Like, who gets to decide what real Islam
Well, they would say real Islam's like decided by this, basically like
a black
imam.
cube, a giant black box.
No, it's from, they don't have a caliph, so it's just Gulf Arab tradition, or it's Middle Eastern Sunni Islam, which has a whole bunch of different schools and different arguments about what is the true Islam. But
I mean, how come you were never like into the Muslim chicks? How come for you it was about the African chicks? You were never into the Muslim chicks.
well, I just never had any. You know what it is? I probably just didn't live around enough of them because I lived in Boston. There just weren't enough.
What about now?
I don't know if I have pull with the hijabi types.
Well, you're never gonna see them, yo, dude.
No, I meant like Arab and like Berber women.
No. Muslim men with like wives, they don't let their wives out in public. I didn't realize
Yeah.
this until like I was driving and I look to my left. I see a blacked out, super pimped out, fucking like straight up like a Ford Explorer, or
Yeah.
it was a giant, obnoxious SUV. But it was like this shit was pimped. I don't mean like pimped in a way where it had like spinning rims or anything. I mean pimped out in a way where some rich guy went into this dealership and got one of these things fully fucking loaded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Completely tinted out windows. Windows were cracked. Guess what I see inside? All Muslim women fully hijabbed out, like
Yeah.
head to toe. They were in the car.
Well, those are only the immigrants, but yeah, pretty much.
No, but they had money, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they're Saudi, I'm sure.
So basically, what I'm saying is like they're definitely like wives of these rich ass Muslim conservative dudes, and they don't let their wives out in public unless they're like in tinted out black vehicles with like full hijab gear on.
Yeah,
And they exist in Staten Island of all places.
I believe it. I'm sure they're immigrants too. But
It's just weird to see like people that devout, that rich. You know, it's like, and I know,
Yeah.
and I know it doesn't sound like they had a fancy car, but if you saw this fucking truck, like
I'm sure it was very tacky and very expensive.
No. I could just tell it was fully loaded because it was everything from like the doorstep, like, you know, when you open the door and then like what you have to step on to get it, like just
Yeah.
looking at that and everything else, like super clean. I could tell it was barely driven. I could tell that was her car. Like, you know, this is my wife's car and it's got blacked out, tinted with everything. So no one could see her, you know, it's like, it was crazy. I was like, holy shit. What do you need, Rich? You want a drink or what?
Grab some water.
All right. Go get some water.
But anyway,
Can you give me some ice too, please?
I just don't think I met enough secular Arab women to fuck them.
Yeah, because you're right.
Because in Boston, there aren't many. Like here, there's a bunch of Arab and Berber women who like have a Kardashian aesthetic, but I
Yeah.
don't think those type of women want to fuck me.
Is it the mustache?
I think I'm just too gay or too effete or too hipster for them.
Maybe it's just too foreign.
Yeah, I mean, like these are women raised in America, but they're like, I'm not. You're
I
not
mean,
my
because
type.
what you said about like, for example, like two.
There will be. It's limited, but there will be black women who have an overt fetish for my appearance.
I mean,
which is the reason why. Honestly,
Sure,
is
yeah.
that there's a minority that I feel very well to.
Sure, but but also we got to also like clarify that this is mostly specific to like American culture, because what you just referred to as like maybe too gay, if you think that's gay, I would say like, oh, you should see some of these straight guys in Italy or like France or whatever.
Yeah, no, they don't. They like that aesthetic. My aesthetic is too.
Thank you.
My aesthetic is too indie for them.
Too indie, too scuzzed out.
too hipster, too. I'm not the kind of aesthetic they're looking for. They're looking for that club going aesthetic, which I don't have.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like, oh, you're so cute and Mr. Rogers like. I don't think they fetishize that the way some
Or like they're not like, I want to rent a cabin with you for the weekend and then we could sit by the fire and read Hunter S. Thompson.
There's black and Jewish women that definitely will have that fantasy about
but
me.
not too many Arabs.
Yeah, not in my experience.
There's
I'm sure they exist.
I'm
but-
sure there's some like depressed Asian girls who'd be super into that too.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Maybe I would be into it, you know? I just don't think I'm old enough yet. I think I age a little slower. That's the thing. Like when I'm like 45 and I could really show it, then like I'll be like, yeah, let's get a cabin, you know, wear my cardigan sweater and drive a Volvo. Also, sometimes I wonder, it's like every day that passes by, being single, I mean, I still fuck around. It's just not like committing to a relationship. It's like I wonder if I will end up in that kind of committed situation in the future, or B, what sort of woman I'll end up in that situation with. It's every day it's becoming less and less sure. I mean, at one point, I know it sounds terrible, but I was like, I'd probably end up with like an Asian girl or a white girl, to be honest. But now it's like every day, it's like I'm becoming less and less sure of that.
At that point, you stop being as picky. Well, you become picky about the things that matter, and something like appearance you care less about, or aesthetic. Not even appearance, it doesn't have to be attractive, but the aesthetic you're going for.
Well, for me, it's like I feel like I changed. You know, it's like
we're all changing.
Yeah, no, that's true. But in a way that directly impacts like romantic tastes. You know, at one point I would be like, I would never see myself dating an Indian chick, you know, maybe from like a vaguely religious family, like it just like a Hindu person or something.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense. But now I would be really kind of into it. You know, I'd be like, fuck yeah, can I talk to your family? You know, like I want to see what they're about. And also it's like maybe it's more of a unifying thing, because when I think of Hindus, I also think of like the real root of like Aryan culture, you know, like even what the Aryans believe, like not.
Yeah, it's a descendant of what Aryans believe. Yes.
I'm not talking about like Orthodox Christianity type shit. I'm talking about like what the
Hinduism is definitely, like, if you want to have an idea of what Greek or Norse mythology or religious practice would have evolved into, Hinduism gives you a decent idea.
Yeah. And also when I think of like German mysticism,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they all had some connection to like Hinduism or something, you know?
Germans were actually huge Hindus going back to like the 17th or 18th century. There's a lot of Germans learning Sanskrit back then.
And it makes
Intellectual, like,
but then that means like, you know,
and Sanskrit is Indo-European. They're all coming from proto Indo-European language. Yeah, whatever the proto-Indo-European language. Pi.
But yeah, I mean, that's all super interesting to me. And again, this goes back to like, yeah, I would have never thought I'd be into a Hindu chick, but now it's like there's a lot of fuckable like Indian girls.
There's just so many Indians that even if a bunch of them are ugly, when it's a lot of them, there's some real banger women.
Is there ever like a culture that you can think of, like an ethnicity that just produces no?
Yeah, easy. Aboriginals, Australian Aboriginals.
Holy shit! Everyone says that. Everyone's like,
yeah. What other answer would be? Even if you like, even race, like even if you're like a real Wignat, like you still have to admit there's a ton of beautiful black women where there are zero beautiful Aboriginal women.
You know, it'd be terrible.
Yeah, it's rough.
It would be terrible
Wait,
if like the one fan of Terrorisk was an Aboriginal woman and she was listening. She was like, what did this guy just say?
Is this actual? This feels fake. Let me see that one. Stock photo. That looks like it's AI generated. I know. Even then, not really.
What about the
but yeah.
Getty Images one? I'm pretty sure that's legit because that's a real stock photo company. To the right, Getty Images. Yeah, that's a stock photo, and
That has to be a.
Mixed, at least.
She's too
That
hot
has
be
to.
legit.
She has to be like Maori. Like there's no way she's an Abo.
She's way too hot to be an Aboriginal Australian.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's
Yeah.
not kid ourselves here.
Yeah, let's be real, people. Like that's like not even Aboriginal. That's Amazonian, and even that's like a LARP they do.
You're like ugly checking these bitches.
Yep. Point me to the attractive Aboriginal.
I'll show you why it's not real.
Yeah, this is why everyone answers Aboriginals.
Fucking yo, didn't a comedian get in super trouble for that? Trevor Noah, that fucking bundle of sticks.
What did he say?
He got heat because he was like, you know, it's like all women are beautiful. Like, no, something about, but I've never met a beautiful Aboriginal woman.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit. But then
that's true.
Yeah, rare truth for him.
It's true.
Yeah, it's a rare truth. So he said, yeah,
That's a good point, Rich. Even if it's not true, it was true for him.
yeah,
I mean, it's true, but it's definitely true for him.
yeah,
Also, a rare case of what Richie was saying is the rare case of him saying something insightful.
yeah.
The most fucked up but funniest thing would be like Carmen at a regular day at work, just bartending, tending the bar, slinging cocktails, slinging drinks. In walks this beautiful, exotic, dark-skinned woman that looks vaguely familiar to Carmen's phenotypical senses, but you know, like he's like, I don't know, something seems off. And then she comes, you know, and they hit it off, and then, you know, he's like, where are you from? And she's like, oh, my family's from Australia. And then suddenly the gear starts.
Yeah, wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen.
I can't wait. It's gonna happen to you now, just because you're so short.
I did see one Australo-Melanesian, which is to say Aboriginals and Papua New Guineans. A guy was definitely that, and I saw him on the streets of Astoria, and I did a double take thinking,
I saw that
is
guy
that
too.
guy? Yeah, is
He's
that
like on
guy?
the trains. Wait, he's not. He's dark, but he's not black.
Yeah,
He's too hairy to be Indian. Like,
yeah, he's or from New Guinea or from Aboriginal.
Yo, would you ever? Oh shit! Like, I gotta remember the question. But I also have another question for Rich.
sure,
Would you identify more as like black or Hispanic?
American.
I say the same shit, but I say that to troll people. They're like, "What are you?" And I say, "Oh, I'm American. I was born in Queens." And then they'll be like, "Oh no, but where's your family from?" And I'll be like, "Oh, they're from Korea."
I mean, I'd say American or like black, basically black.
Yeah. Oh, and I remembered a question for Carmen now.
Hmm?
So, would you say there are any ethnicities that have like a real offset with like attractiveness and gender? Like their men could be attractive, but their women are busted, or their women are really hot, but their men are like fucked up looking.
Yeah, Slavs have fucked up looking men and beautiful women. And then like British Isles, though it varies because they'll have ugly men there too. And it's not that there aren't attractive women there.
British.
But there's a bunch of busted women there.
How do
And
you feel about
attractive guys?
How do you feel about like the difference between like like a hot Mexican woman and like a not so hot Mexican woman? Like the type of Mexican woman that looks like a fucking like a 4'7" supermodel, mini supermodel, like a miniature.
You're 4'7". I thought you were going to describe like a very Indio Guatemalan. Those are often Guatemalans, by the way, when they're very dark and short.
Oh, interesting. Learn something new every day with Carmen. But I mean, like the difference between that and then the Mexican women that look more like a Native American dude than anything, you know?
Oh, I cut you off. Between an indigenous woman who looks like a Native American dude and a woman who's just short and brown but is still noticeably female.
Yeah. I think it's because those types of Mexicans just have more Spanish in them, maybe.
Depends on level of admixture. Depends on the individual tribes, because different areas of Mexico, the Indio population can even vary in appearance quite a bit.
Well, I mean, when I say Spanish, I'm not saying Spanish are particularly hot people. What I am saying is that Hispanics are basically a creation of when Spain came to the New World.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's just make new people.
Most of the population, is mixed race.
Like, they
and
were just
also
like-
there's African admixture.
I mean, that's pretty base, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, you sail across the whole fucking Atlantic and, you didn't even know if you're going to survive. And then you're like, bro, I haven't seen pussy in literal like a year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're Spanish too. Imagine how horny they are. Yeah.
And they were like, I don't care what they look like. They're soft. They're small. They're weak. They got vaginas. I'm fucking it. And then they were like, you know what? I actually like it here. The sun's always out. We're by the beach. We got plenty of fruits. The natives are nice. They want to fuck me. We want to fuck them. You know, like, let's just stay here. And then send word back.
Cortez married an Aztec woman very quickly.
Isn't that what Zorro is all about?
No, Zorro's about like a rich, mostly either mestizo, which is say only like a fourth indigenous or mostly white, a rich guy who becomes a mass defender of
Mexicans.
Yeah, it's just like basically a Spanish nobleman, rich Mexican guy has like a Batman secret identity where he fights crime and injustice.
Did you see the Antonio Banderas version of?
Yeah, as a kid, I haven't seen that in so long, man. I liked it a lot as a kid, but I was like 7.
That was an interesting one because Banderas doesn't play the OG Zorro. The OG Zorro is
it's like a title and gets passed down to him, right? Is it Anthony Hopkins, who's the prior Zorro? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why does Zorro have a British accent? I don't know.
I mean, I love Sean Connery in Highlander. That's like the best example because he's a ancient Egyptian. Like Sean Connery's character is an ancient Egyptian who is posing as a Spaniard in Scotland, and he has a Scottish accent.
Some parts of Highlander were like just didn't work too well. I mean, the first Highlander movie did not age well at all. Like there's scenes where he pulls out a sword and it's like, where did you pull that out of, dude? Like, you know, because some scenes they're actually like putting it together and carrying us, but then some scenes like they just pull it out of nowhere. It's like, wow.
And it's shot like a music video, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't into the first one. They should do a remake of that too.
I like the first one.
Yeah, I do too.
Sequels really hate. I know there are people that are fans of the TV show, but I'm sure it was very much of its time.
Yeah. You know what's funny though? Like when it comes to comedies, like they fill in gaps really well when it comes to like references. Like when I started sword fighting, I was hanging with my other friend Chris. He was also really into movies, and I was like, "What's your favorite sword fighting scene in a movie?" And he comes up with the fucking Princess Bride.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not a bad pick actually.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I haven't seen the movie, but the sword fight in The Deluge is good.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You want me to pull? Can we pull up that video?
Yeah, it's there.
I know the problem. You're gonna say it's in. We can talk over it. It's
Use
in
the
Polish.
YouTube tab. The Deluge.
The Deluge. Or maybe Deluge.
You should all, if you like that, like duels, like you should also check out The Duelist.
Yeah, duel. The Duelist is great. Yeah. No. The scroll down for the sword fight. No, go up. Put it in sword fight.
I see the
Maybe
duel.
watch
There he
the
is.
Duelist.
We should watch it. Yeah, or
I can
we
see
didn't
it.
finish it. I think we watched half of it.
Yeah, some.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta love ads. I
Yeah,
love
love-
another Marvel movie. I can't.
No,
wait to see
this
it.
one is like the Suicide Squad.
What are
I guess you could play a sound. I don't know. What do you say, Chris?
Quote, Will Smith. Nah, it's like
Yeah.
it's not even in fucking English.
Yeah, it's not even English, so yeah.
Are there any of these? Like, do you actually recognize any of these actors, or is just
No, I don't. I do not watch enough Polish or Soviet film. This is all actors from the 70s. You probably can skip ahead a sec.
See, this is back in the old days when they didn't try to trick us into believing super hot women wearing skimpy clothing could kick everyone's asses.
Yeah, it's just some guys being dudes in the 17th century Poland.
Just some guys being dudes.
These are the kind of films that the
I feel
Soviets
sorry
made.
for you, sir.
Dlatego po raz ostatni
You're a
mówię ci.
splendid soldier. Therefore, I'll say this one more time.
Dawaj.
Oh, he's trying to get gully with him. That's why. I'm not letting him go. Yeah. So at this point in the scene, for all of you listening,
I haven't seen the movie. I don't know the context. I just know that it's a historical drama. It's in 17th century Poland when it's set.
So for all of you listening and not watching, these guys are just these two they're not swarthy. They're just
They're the opposite. They're Poles.
they're
I think he's drunk too. The guy.
Yeah,
They're rugged-looking white Polish guys ready to do a fucking sword fight, like a real.
that
sword
one
fight.
kind of looks like me.
No armor. as
Actually,
you
a bunch of basically all the young twelve. No, I'm switching from the young twink form of a Pole to the grizzled old Slav version. That's the guy surrounding them.
This is actually a really good sword fight.
Yeah,
This is excellent. Actually, you could tell it's good because they're playing with range,
yeah,
as opposed to like a modern sword scene where it's
Yeah.
like they're just crossing swords constantly. You know that guy in the white shirt kind of looks like Dr. Cox from Scrubs.
Yeah.
yeah.
You knew exactly who I was talking about too. Oh, that's not that fancy. That's some stupid shit. Come on, don't be a fucking dickhead.
Paść machasz jak cepę.
You were just swinging it like a flail.
Now he's
before.
mocking him.
Oh, that's actually a good mock.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you were thinking. I like that one guy looks like he's having fun, like Freddie Mercury, and the other guy's like super serious.
yeah.
No, but that aside, this is a seriously good sword fight. I wish.
That's why I mentioned it as.
Podnieś.
Right, so basically he disarmed his opponent. One,
Yeah.
The serious guy disarmed the impetuous guy's weapon. Until I pick it up.
But yeah, this is my selection for best sword fight in the film.
I like it because it's real. It's
Yeah.
realistic. That was way too high. Clearly for safety reasons. I mean, like fancy moves, like all the flamboyant movements aside, what really makes this work,
Also, the guy in the white shirt is drunk.
well, what really makes this work is the fact that they're both like very conscious of their range.
Yeah.
Kończność. Wstydu ostry.
Spin his head.
No, he's not. He lives.
Żyje. Nie patrz na znak.
He hasn't fallen out of his fight.
Teraz odmój. Nie masz. Jatek tu nie trzeba. Kawalerski obyczaj. Rannego nie
That
dobija.
was a cool sword fight.
Zobacz.
Yeah.
Booking.com has all kinds of
I liked
stays
it.
because some love us.
Yeah, you should watch the movie, I know.
Yeah, I know what my friend Bren would pick. He would choose Star Wars or some shit.
I like the with the Rob Roy fight.
Oh, the Rob Roy fight's a really good
That was
one.
really good.
For
yeah,
me-
Brendan would choose something very lame and Reddit and mainstream like that.
Well, he's
And like that.
I don't think he was always mainstream though. It's like what he liked when he liked it wasn't mainstream. It was when he liked that stuff. It was very new, like Pokemon and fucking and
A lot of
punk.
millennials, but yeah.
And punk. Well, punk was definitely not new, but then that
Pop
way,
punk
that,
or
that-
whatever.
No, it wasn't pop punk. It was the resurgence of like hardcore punk, like
Mm.
Black Flag type shit, you know, or like Bad Brains, like hardcore
Yeah.
punk. And you know, when he was like into the resurgence of that, and basically like he was, but then he aged with it. That's the thing. Like he didn't move on to other things. He just kind of aged with that and didn't move on. So
There's a lot of Pokemon fans like that.
but by the time he now it's like everything he likes isn't fresh anymore, you know. And also it's like he cares deeply for the things he likes. So it's like with Star Wars, it's almost spiritual for him. And Star Wars is a very spiritual series. Like let's be honest. There's that.
Have you seen the Rob Roy fight, Chris? That's a good one.
Who's Rob Roy?
It's from the film Rob Roy. It's like Liam Neeson.
He was he's like I think a real person, a famous Scottish bandit.
It's a historical drama. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll check it out. Yeah. What is it? Let's see.
Rob Roy duel or whatever. Sword fight or yeah.
Final Duel. Rob Roy, Liam Neeson. I'm Liam Neeson. Look at my skirts.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's playing true to his nationality, you know.
Or he's an yeah, he's still a Celt. Yeah, both Celts with his English opponent.
Wait, is he a real Englishman? I thought he was a Scotsman.
No, he's Irish.
Oh, he's Irish?
Yeah.
I knew he wasn't really British. I knew that.
But yeah,
I
no,
am
he's
here to
Irish.
assure you settle it on
Isn't Ewan McGregor not really
There will be no
English either?
backstabbing,
Yeah, as per his name, he's actually Scots. Yeah.
nor
That's what I
will
was
you use
thinking.
weapons other than agree. If quarter is asked,
No quarter will be asked.
We now interrupt
Okay,
the
then.
BBC news special
This is
with
Tim Roth, who
tender
is an
from your
Englishman.
weapons and commence upon my mark.
Welcome to BBC. We are here interviewing Liam Neeson, talking about his historical drama, Rob Roy. Hello, Liam. Thank you for coming.
Takes his wig off.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be here. It's good to be here. Oh, thank you. It's good to be here. He's got this light voice yet raspy, like a high but raspy voice.
Mhm.
I can't believe he got to play Ra's al Ghul. That was a good one.
Yeah. He's very good in it, even if he's not.
Damn, I can't not like just watch this sword fight in silence. Like it's
Yeah.
it's hard to do a commentary.
Yeah,
It
this
is.
go pretty hard to do.
Great setting. Great. I haven't seen the movie. Have you?
Like one time, yeah.
It kind
Years
of
ago.
this kind of reminds me of Gladiator. You know
Yeah.
that last fight scene.
Mhm.
I would like to think I could win a fight like this, but it would be annoying. It would be very like annoying.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, like if it's a skirmish, if it's like a bunch of your boys with swords against a bunch of their boys with swords,
Yeah, there's a bit of things around.
But if it's just you and another guy in one sword fight, like Richie, you felt it with me, right?
Yeah.
Like how did it feel? It
It's
felt
intense. Yeah, it's very.
it feels annoying, right?
Yeah.
Because like you have to just kill the guy,
Yeah.
but the guy, it's like he's not thinking about anything but you.
Right.
And then like your defenses are up, his defenses are up, and it's like who's gonna crack first? And that's really what it's about. Which is why I always say like, and I really think this is true, that sword fights are less physical and way more mental. Like,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of melee combat is, especially in battles, is
Well-
very much mental. And
I don't know about that because if it's like raw, like wrestling, like
real wrestling, yeah, no, that's a real physical. You're right.
I mean, yes, both parties could be skilled, but if one just doesn't have the stamina, then eventually he's
Yeah.
in a cave.
I think there is a lot with weapons fighting that's mental like that.
Whereas like in a sword fight, like
Yeah.
an 80-year-old practitioner can beat like a 20-year-old dude with a sword. You know, like if they were in a
There's
sword
something
fight.
about having the tool is like a big factor.
Well, the sword does all the work, like physically.
Yeah.
It does all the fucking heavy lifting. All you have to do is guide it and swing it.
How much of your swordsmanship knowledge could you think transfer to using like this basket?
A lot. A sword is
I
a sword.
figure. Yeah, I was gonna say. I assumed that.
A sword is a sword, you know?
Yeah.
It's a big giant knife. It's a rod with a wedge
Yeah.
meant for cutting and poking. It's easy. It's just what the other guy has one. That's when things get
Yeah.
infinitely difficult, you know?
I meant dueling with this type of sword you're not used to.
It'll be easier. Because
Yeah.
then I don't have to worry about parrying as much. I have a fucking basket handguard that can literally catch a strike.
Hmm.
That's why, you do know that European swords are like superior to the katana.
Yes, I do know. Yeah. Also, they just had more.
Better metallurgy.
Yeah, and more metal at that too. Yeah.
So the truth is, the reason why the whole thing about European swordsmanship that's actually really tragic is when guns came into the picture.
A lot of it was just
All of it.
lost. All of it. Yeah.
All
And
the-
we have the old fight manuals, but they don't really give you an idea. You have to guess or practice through because they were meant to be used by people who already knew basics of swordsmanship.
Well, what really died wasn't the knowledge, because like you said, the documents existed, but what really died was the schools, like the lineages.
Yeah.
You know, like a lineage is usually carried on from father to son, master to apprentice. But
Yeah.
for some reason, when guns came out, they all just died. There wasn't even because there was periods in Japan, for example, where the lords feared all like people knowing swordsmanship, and they would curb it and all this stuff.
Yeah, they just
In
sword
Europe, it was
hunts
just
and stuff.
completely engulfed. It was like
Yeah.
they're like, nah, we don't even need it, you know, because we just have like it's not like the peasants train super hard in weaponry and martial arts to like fucking beat the nobility warriors. No, the peasants just got their hands on guns and started revolutions with explosives and munitions. Whereas in Japan, they had a long varied history of passing on one rule to the next through like not just technologically enabled armed resistance, but armed resistance through deterministic will cultivating superior technique in both the individual and the collective. So I don't know. It's just deeper stuff, and Japan never lost it. Like they never let it die. So that's why when you think of the modern day and like HEMA, you know what HEMA is, right?
Yeah, historical European martial arts.
I would say to this day, the weapons of the European schools are greater, but the Japanese techniques are better. They've had more time to
It just brute forces it.
Sometimes that's how you win a fight.
Yeah.
Sacrifice a pawn to gain a king. You know. He's dead. At this point in the scene, ladies and gentlemen, Liam Neeson has just grabbed the sword that was at his neck with his bare hand. Didn't give a fuck if he was getting cut, and
Claws his opponent too. Cleaves his opponent too.
right down the
Almost
collar,
do it.
like right down the shoulder to the gut. You know.
Yeah.
You can't do that with one hand of the katana, I don't think. Maybe two
Hold you
hands.
to our bargain.
But with one hand, yeah. Well, one-handed usage is like a little trickier, and I don't know. There's a whole bunch of like, call it pseudoscience, call it esoteric wisdom. I don't know.
Yeah.
Swordsmanship is definitely more esoteric than pseudoscience, I would say.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not a science. It's
a science.
technique.
I'd
well,
say
I
it's a
mean,
science.
it's not pseudo.
It's not a pseudoscience, but it's like chess. You know
Yeah,
how
with like biomechanics, yeah.
You know how chess.
Yeah.
You know how chess is a sport, a game, and a science, and an art. Or I think, no, it's an art, a game, and a science at the same time.
Yeah.
You be very precise in something without it directly being a science. Well, I'm sorry, you're
Yeah.
using it in the not metaphorical, the adjective.
As you will.
Hyperbolic. Fuck, never mind. Fair
I will know who to
Well, it's like,
wager on the
baiting
next
your
fight.
opponent, trying to trick them. Not that's like screw them over, but try like it is like a game of chess.
Hope your grace will
But
live
also,
so
if your
long.
opponent just has greater endurance to play the game longer, then he might win just that way too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like same thing in a sword fight. If he could just last longer than you,
Didn't was it Bobby Fischer who like psyched out his Russian opponent like by like fucking around while playing the chess match or like showing up late like 1 minute before until 1 minute before it would be conceded.
It's pretty funny.
yeah, no,
think
he
it
was
was him.
literally yeah. He fucked with him the whole game. First of all, he shows up late, which is terrible. Second of all, like as soon as he shows up, he complains. He's like, "This table is uneven. No, I don't like the seating. No, this is clearly set up against me." So they had to change everything. So basically, right from the start, he made the match psychologically on his terms.
Yeah.
because everything and the other guy, his opponent, was flustered.
Yeah.
He was like, "Why is he fucking late? What do you mean the table's no good? The table's fine. What do you mean we got to change it? So we got to delay it even further? Are you fucking kidding me? Let's go.
And Fischer, I think, said that he knew he was a better chess player than him.
Yeah. So, but ultimately, being like, if you know your skill is lesser and technique is lesser, but you out strategize them, that still means you win. You know the
Yeah.
story of Musashi.
Yes.
You know one of his duels where he won by like there's a lot of stories about a lot of takes. There's a lot of takes on his different legends, but one of them was he was up against Sasaki Kojiro Sasaki, or just Kojiro, yeah. And this guy was known to wield like a huge katana, like really long.
Like a Dai Katana.
And Musashi was like Okitana.
Okitana. Thank you.
Yeah, and Musashi was like you didn't really know what he was thinking, but you knew that he accepted the challenge. Right, so they both agreed to fight on an island, like in a remote spot, and they would meet at a specific time. Musashi shows up late, but it was intentional because like when he shows up, right, he shows up at a specific point when the sun is in the sky, and then he gets off the boat, and he doesn't even come with a sword. He just has a huge wooden oar, like that's as long as his opponent's sword, and he carves it into a big stick, and they get into position. And Musashi makes sure he has the sun at his back, so he has a distinct advantage. and that's how supposedly he defeated Sasaki Kojiro in one blow.
With an oar?
A carved ori, I believe.
If you hit anyone with a boken,
No, that's true.
with a boken, like in a skilled spot, like you're gonna fucking kill them, you know.
And the boken was because it could be lighter, or because
What do you mean?
why did you choose a boken instead of a sword, instead of a katana?
Me?
No, Musashi.
No, he didn't choose a boken. He chose the big oar. He took a big
Or made one, I should say. Why? Oh, okay.
because he didn't have a. I think it's really because he didn't have a sword that was as long as his opponent's sword. It's
Okay, so it was that.
First
yeah.
of all, it's stupid to go in a fight like intentionally, like in a duel, where it's like you're like if you have a short sword and your opponent has a long sword, it's over. You know, it's
right.
like.
I see.
However, the only time when
my
that's
initial guess was correct then.
the only time that's not true is if the shorter weapon can close the distance, because there is a point, there is a range point when like the person with the longer weapon is at a disadvantage. If you bypass their effective range,
Yeah,
then they're fucked. So that's how like techniques with
that's why knives and shorter knives are very prominent now, and swords are not.
no, I mean that's why samurai.
Also, it's easier to carry.
Well, that's why samurai carried one long sword.
Yeah,
and
one short sword,
wakizashi. Yeah, so that was their daisho, their set. And then after the two swords, they would also carry one small little tanto,
Yeah.
and that's their like utility knife slash like. Because the idea was, yeah, there like you could always lose your sword, your spear, your bow, and then you would have nothing left. So you might as well have more shit. But there's also like when you're indoors, traditionally you put your sword, at the thing, and then you could still carry your wakizashi so that you're not unarmed. It's basically a guy who can afford to walk into the drug deals and the meetings with a gun on his hip. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's their sidearm.
Yeah. So yeah, something like that's in regards to different ranged weapons, guys. Good knowledge, food for thought. Richie, can you pull up the OBS window slightly? Like you see like on the border? Just go to the border and just
Yeah.
pull it up. No, not that border. Like reset that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it should snap into place.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, now go to the actual window.
Yeah.
Like so and slide it up. Yeah. So see how long we've been recording at the bottom.
An hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
Wow. Time flies. Well, time slows down when you're having fun.
No, I think this episode has gone by fast, and we've had a lot. I think the third mic, having Rich on production, really helps a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. I told you. I knew. Well,
No,
I
you're
didn't
right.
Tell you, I didn't
and also,
tell
Rich
you.
provides a third voice, even though we keep telling him to shut up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said it. Like I told.
No,
I
it's
didn't
fine.
tell you. I didn't tell you anything. But
No, I knew it would be. I knew. I said we needed a third mic
Yeah, you're right.
because every podcast
right.
needs to be. I was right, as often
you were
as the
right.
Yeah,
case.
every pod
as
you-
usual.
Every pod needs a stove.
Yeah. Rich is my. I brought Rich to be my staff.
Well, first, I don't take advantage of those things. I don't. Oh, a stav. I think you meant an atom. Because a stav is different than an atom. An atom.
Rich is both in one.
Nah, I don't like to. I don't like to beat the shit out of my teammates like that. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not into that. I mean, so for comedy, I could get, but I don't think we're like solely a comedy podcast. We talk about some serious things, like we talk
About sword fights, and we talk about
And
who's the
hot
most
blo-
attractive black woman there is.
who's the hottest famous black chick, guys.
Okay, who's the hottest female Asian chick? Rich, pull up your. You put in who you want. Who you're going to
I
say,
don't know.
Rich?
I don't think I have one. I should
Why,
have.
how is that possible?
It's
I
too
thought
hard
you
to
had.
choose. It's way too hard to choose.
Who's the hottest Jewish girl? Abby.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman's really good. Doja Cat.
Hillary Duff.
Is she Jewish?
What?
Probably. I don't know. I'm just
I
guessing.
don't believe that.
Let's start doing our early life checks.
I feel like you could just name any actress and they're probably Jewish.
I don't think she's Jewish, but let's see.
Early lifer.
Yeah, English.
Oh,
You
she's
see-
born 5 days. She's got like 28. I'm 23rd.
Does not mention. So her early life is just born in Texas, huh?
She's like English
She's definitely
urban.
Christian. She's not Jewish. She's not one of the chosen people.
Yeah.
That's why she didn't win any Oscars. That's why she wasn't in any movies. Hillary Duff should have at least.
Ava Green.
Yeah, I've agreed to this.
You know where I think Hillary Duff dropped the ball? She should have gotten herself into a Transformers movie, and she never did.
Oh, I know she has kids and she is happily married. Ava Green, I think, maybe.
That's pretty good. Close one.
What's your favorite Jewess, Chris?
My favorite Jewess is, hold on, let me think. God, this should be really easy for me. But you guys took all the good ones. You said Natalie Portman. You said,
Classic.
oh fuck,
Ava Green,
Ava Green.
Doja Cat.
She is Jewish. That's right. Give me a list. Give me a list of Jewish actresses.
Rachel Weisz.
That's not bad.
No, you can't think of one for me because that'll be fucked up.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I don't think I like
Kate
it.
Dennings.
I don't think I like it.
Classic.
Kat Dennings?
Yeah.
You're right. That is
She's
my favorite.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson.
Oh yeah,
Kat Dennings for me, yo. Kat Dennings is. I didn't even know she still worked, yo. She is.
No, she made a lot of money with Two Broke Girls. She is a
knockout.
She's a very wealthy because
she's like one of the most beautiful women I have ever met in life.
You've
Not met her.
Seen?
Not met her. Actually, you want to know who the most beautiful woman I've met in my life? It's Caitlyn Ritter.
Really, you met her?
Yeah.
Damn, nice.
I have a picture with her. I thought I showed you. It's a nice selfie.
REN.
RITTER.
You don't know who she is, Richie? You never heard of Miss Ritter? She is fucking sexy. Her and Kat Dennings to me are like, oh god, that's not her.
Not Caitlyn. It's Kristen Ritter.
Oh yeah, her. Yes. Oh yeah, she's super attractive. When'd you meet her?
Right under the dojo, actually. I think she was doing Jessica Jones.
That's pretty cool. You talked to her?
Yeah. She was. She walked right out the deli that I usually go to as I was walking in, and I was like, holy shit, it's Jessica Jones. You know, because she had the leather jacket on and everything. And I was
You were like, holy shit, it's that heroin addict.
no. I said, holy shit, it's you. Those are my exact words. So I walked past her, you know, and she walked past me and she was like, yeah, it's me. And then I walked out, she was still there. And I was like, can I get a picture with you? And she was like, yeah. So I took it real quick and she was like, I was like, I'm sorry if it doesn't look good. And she's like, trust me, it did. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's bae. And because I
She
liked
early life checker.
because I liked her before she was, you know, I saw her on Breaking Bad, you know?
Yeah.
Right? No, I liked her on Breaking
No,
Bad. but
German, Scottish, English.
I'm saying I liked her before I met her, and I was like, yeah, she's cute. She's a cutie. But then when I saw her in real life, I was like, damn, she is tall. She has to look it up immediately.
That's fine. Yeah, it's pretty tall for a woman.
Yeah.
But when I met her, she was wearing those Jessica Jones boots, so she was
She was
like,
taller.
yeah.
Look up most attractive Jewesses.
You're
bring that up.
You're like Tony Stark. Or like Jarvis, pull up child porn. Most attractive.
Oh, yeah.
Jew- what
Gal
is it?
Gadot.
Scarlett Johansson. Oh wow, they have.
Natalie Portman, Rachel Weisz.
Wait, Mila
Mila
Kunis.
Kunis, yeah.
Oh shit, I forgot about Mila Kunis.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, Winona Ryder, yeah, especially when she was young.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh,
believe,
Jennifer Connelly.
I can't believe this list actually exists, bro.
Why are you surprised? This is a very easy list. Like, see Jennifer Connelly.
Wait, Rashida Jones is a good choice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's a good choice. Yeah,
Who's the authority on this?
There's some guys
Weinstein,
like
probably.
some guys. Yeah, Weinstein.
Oh, yo, Carmen. By the way, the
Carmen,
episode of Black Mirror I was talking about with the brain
Yeah?
part. That's I think that was Rashida
Lisa
Jones.
Bonet.
Whoa,
Counts?
she's Jewish. No wonder she's so hot. Whoa.
No wonder she's so hot.
Oh my God, that means that Zoe Kravitz is Jewish. I mean, from both parents, actually.
Wow.
Fuck.
It's a full Jew.
Imagine
Well,
if
she's
like,
half Jewish.
imagine if you scroll down a bit and you see like Jeff Goldblum on the list.
Lauren McCall.
Yeah, Lauren McCall.
No, it's not that I'm surprised this list exists. It's just it's on IMDb.com.
Nah,
Like,
some guy I uploaded himself. This is my most attractive Jewish woman. Let me see. Go.
Hurricane.
I hate that Gal Gadot is top 1. I don't think she breaks.
Yeah, that's tacky.
I don't think she breaks top 10.
Yeah, I agree. Go back. Let me see other people's lists of most. This should just be a ethnicity attractiveness rating.
Imagine celebrating Hanukkah with Scarlett Johansson. Why are all these photos so pornographic?
Is this guy's ranker list?
They literally picked the most pornographic photos. Of
This
all
guy
of
is just picking a whole lot of Israeli models too.
Yeah.
It's like all these people I don't know. It's all similar looking.
All right, Kat Dennings is the best too. By the way, let's first of all, I just want to take a minute to sing my praises about Kat Dennings.
This is a great headline. 10 Jewish women that'll make your kippah fly off.
All right, I just want to say Kat Dennings. The first time I saw her was in Charlie Bartlett, that movie, and I was like, "Who is this beautiful woman?"
Cans.
That was it, right? It was the tits.
Yeah.
The face.
I mean, she has a beautiful face
Yeah.
too, but yeah, I'm sure it's the tits you were focused on.
No, I think it was the face too. Like, because tits are like a dime a dozen, but that face with those tits, it's like a brutal combination.
Yeah.
It's vicious, and I don't know. I was in love with Kat Dennings ever since then. But I hardly see her in anything, and I didn't even really.
Well, that's because she's just working. If the show hasn't ended, she's just working constantly in the show.
And I didn't even like her that much in Thor.
No. Remember how in Thor 1 he talks like the Shakespearean, pseudo Shakespearean, like in the comic strip, and then it just dropped it for MCU quips.
Yeah, or being a himbo, basically. Mm-hmm. You know, because of that, so many guys try to be himbos, like because of the MCU universe. And apparently girls like it. Girls like himbos.
I'm sure if you're very hot, it works.
Like if you're not a dandy type, coquettish guy, then you're gonna have to go for the himbo. You know, if you're gonna be like,
if you're buff, yeah, you're not an ugly bastard, Max.
That's why I can't be too buff, because I don't ever want to go the himbo route. I don't ever ever
think you're fine. You're not gonna end up as Sima whatever. The guy is supposed to be super hot.
But what I'm saying, the
Shang-Chi guy.
No, the problem is the whole like the ratio of how muscular you have to be to like submit and commit to being a himbo is like decreasing basically. Like you have to be like less and less fit to have to be a himbo for you know.
Yeah. Himbos are all due to himbo body positivity. You're gonna have fat himbos within. Well, if trend lines had continued, but they didn't.
You knew exactly where I was going with it 10 miles ahead of me already. So
yeah, sorry for disappointing you.
No, it's not disappointing. It's actually it's enlightening.
In many ways, it's nice. I love the like lingerie lines where they have fat or weird or disabled female models, and then the male models are all buff, so it looks like Marines with their wives. Because I don't know if you know, Marines often have ugly wives or fat wives. Yes, notoriously so.
I don't think that was always. Well, okay, you're right. I agree with you.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you every time too. And I think what happens is Marines, before they deploy or in deployment or something happens, they meet some strange because their inhibitions are against the wind. They're like, I'm going to war. I could die at any minute. So they go to a strip club, they go to a bar or whatever, and they meet the first cute girl they see without knowing anything about her, not knowing
how many of them are rough to begin with, and it's just that they think they won't cheat on them or something. But I don't know.
But I think a lot of them were cute.
I can see that, yeah.
Because they were young, like 18, 19, and then they meet a cute girl at a bar, and they're like, I'm a Marine. And the 19-year-old girl's like, really?
Yeah.
You know, so they get married, they have a bunch of kids, and then like suddenly the guy's like on his like second, third deployment to pay for his fucking 3 kids or whatever. And like his wife by then is like either cheating on him or just completely letting themselves go.
Yeah, and also they have armies still will dishonorably discharge you for moral infractions, like having an affair.
Yeah, but that's par for the course in the military. Like
the military, yeah.
Once you sign over to the military, it's like honestly the way I look at it, it's like the military is like the less bad choice than the devil if you're going to sign your soul over to someone.
Sure,
honestly. Like if short of directly selling your soul to the devil, the military is
being
like
in jail, but yeah,
slightly better. You know, it's slightly. Like I'd rather sell my soul to the military than the devil, because at least if I sell my soul to the military, I could always say, "Hey, I was retarded." You know, like
you're out in a few years too. You want to take a break?
Do you think we need to with Richie in the picture?
Actually, maybe we don't have to. You're right. I could just head off. I'll be right back.
No. We could take a break. Wait. You want to pee?
Yeah.
Wait, don't stop recording.
Don't stop recording. Don't stop recording.
Yeah, we just keep the recording going.
Cool.
I'll be right back.
All right. Anyway, we could do I'll do this intermission with Richie. Richie, you want to do the ad read?
Is it a fucking ad read?
Yeah.
It's Blue Chew.
Why does it have to be Blue Chew? Think of a different product.
Fucking hell. Give me something.
Suntory whiskey.
Brought to you by Centauri Whiskey.
And
Is there a coupon or something? You know?
that's what you go to? Okay, so here's how I would do it. This episode of the Terrorisk podcast was brought to you by Suntory Whiskey, the Toki line. Now, what's great about this whiskey is that it's not too heavy and it's not too light. When I'm podcasting with my boys, Richie and Carmen, we like to unwind and uncork a bottle of a little something, something. And tonight we chose Suntory Whiskey, the Toki line. It's very good, very smooth, very rich.
86 proof, ladies and gentlemen. 86 proof.
Yeah, very good. And we don't know if it's probably not made in Japan. It's probably...
It's probably more expensive if it's made in Japan, yeah. Yeah, it's made in Chicago, I think it says in the bottle.
Yeah. All right, let's think of a different product. What about Hanes underwear?
You wearing Hanes right now?
Me? No, I'm
I
wearing...
think I actually am wearing Hanes.
I'm wearing Calvin Klein, but Hanes underwear. Hey, this episode of the Terrorisk podcast was brought to you by Hanes underwear. Now, the great thing about Hanes underwear is they come in various colors. Now, if you're stupid, you'll buy it in white because white underwear is a scam. What you should do is you should get it in
Yellow.
black.
Yeah, I like yellow.
Yellow?
Yeah.
Yellow underwear?
Or like a dark yellow.
Well, that's because it matches your complexion. Like
Yeah,
if
I guess so, yeah.
If you had like Carmen's complexion, like yellow underwear wouldn't work. You know what I mean?
very, very goofy, yeah.
But then again, I don't know. The same can't be said about every article of clothing for that complexion either, because you have like a white woman who would look very good in like a yellow dress.
That's true.
So maybe it's the hair too, mixed with the hair.
Could be.
Like a red-haired white woman in the yellow dress, like Daisy from Mario verse. Okay, so anyway, this episode is brought to you by Suntory Whiskey. For a rich, smooth taste that is unoffensive to the senses and high in class, try Suntory Whiskey today, the Toki line. And if you go to suntorywhiskey.com and type in the promo code Terrorisk, you will get 10% off on your next purchase of $100 worth or more of a Suntory whiskey.
Also a visit from the FBI.
Also a visit from the SB. We were just...
How would you describe it? Unoffensive is like such a backhanded way of putting it. I know you're just searching for a word, but like all Japanese whiskeys, it's kind of like a midpoint between Scotch and a bourbon.
It is mid.
This is no, it's not. Well,
It's
decent.
delicate. That's all like your
decent,
food's
delicate.
delicate.
That's a good description. Yeah, it's like a delicate Scotch.
It's like a lady's Scotch.
Yeah, or an Oriental Scotch.
No, we were just... while you were gone, we were just practicing our ad reads.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, well, first I was like, just think of something, and he goes immediately to Blue Chews, and I was like, all right, let's think of something else, and he was like, give me something to think of. So I just
Wait, you didn't immediately think of Bet.com or some other sports gambling?
mybookie.com.
Mybookie.com.
The real official one is DraftKings. Now I don't.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't support DraftKings because I actually lost once on DraftKings when I was in the stock market. I lost like $7,000.
Jesus.
Fuck.
No, it's okay. Because that's the way it works. Is
all for the love of the
you
game.
make like 20 grand, and then you lose like 7 grand, then you lose 3 grand, then you lose 4 grand, then you make 6 grand, and then you lose 8 grand, and then you make like 30 grand. But then you
So
lose
it's just
like,
gambling, yes.
but you get slightly better odds in a casino.
You get better odds in a casino, yeah.
And it's slightly more rational, but it's really not. Like it's the stock market has nothing to do with actual market value of companies and their products. No, yeah, it's really completely divorced. It's mostly psychological, and I shouldn't say it's completely divorced. There's like a rough estimate where it's like, yeah, and then if it offends that, then it's like, okay, something weird going on. There's money to be made. You boys ever think about playing stocks or crypto?
Yeah, but always been very lazy and disinterested. But something I need to get into because I'm getting older and I need some other means of income.
Well, all right. Well,
I'd love to learn.
I'll take you guys one at a time. Carmen, when you think of putting money in the stock market, do you think of A, making fast money fast, or B,
No.
long term? Yeah, long term.
Long term, of course.
Okay.
That's the whole point.
So if you're going to think of long term, then what you're better off doing is just putting 20% of every dollar you make into like SPY, like an ETF or something, you know, like just because you're never like, yeah, you could think you could you could try to say like, oh, I know this about Target or I know this about this. Maybe you do know something, you know, it's true. Like maybe you work at a
But
Target.
it's good procedure to have that.
But truthfully, you're not going to outcompete America. You're not going to outcompete like a compilation of like the 20 best stocks you can buy in America, you know? So just put your money in that. And if you want to invest in the stock market. What about you, Richie? When you think of putting money in the stock market, would you lean more towards fast money fast or like more long-term?
Long-term passive income.
Okay, same thing then. You know, go for
pretty
like,
much.
Okay, let's say one of us wanted to do fast money fast. So that's what you wanted to talk about.
well, if you want to do fast money fast, there's different ways to do it. It depends how fast, right? If you wanted to do really fast at really high risk, because the faster it is, the higher the risk. So you know what options are?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Rich? You know what options are?
No, I don't.
Options is basically just a contract. It's a vehicle for investment. That's like, it's like, let's say you have cocaine
Mhm.
and then you could cook it into crack. So stocks are like the cocaine. The options are like the crack.
Mhm.
And obviously the crack is more addictive. So what the options are, it's basically a contract that says you reserve 100 shares. You may not have the money for 100 shares. You may not own 100 shares, but you have control over and a reserve over 100. It's basically a reserve. It's like let's say there's a fancy restaurant and you treat the reservation itself as a product. It's like, wait, I could trade the reservations itself and not like actual seats. It's like, yeah, you could reserve and then sell those reservations, you know, to people who you think would buy them at a higher price. So that's what options basically are. It's selling reservations of 100 share blocks. So, and they come at a premium and the value fluctuates very wildly and they always decay. Meaning for every day you hold an options contract, the value goes down. Stocks aren't like that. Stocks will be one, you know, like will retain its value depending on the actual value of the stock. Whereas options have a value decay. So they're basically lotto tickets. How a lotto ticket expires after you can't hold your lotto numbers forever for a certain pulling, for a drawing. Eventually, the time comes where you have to like draw, and that's it.
And you can use it for predictive purposes of where shares are going.
Well, it's different when, for example, you have the money to pay for 100 shares or you own 100 shares of a stock. Because then when you're trading options after owning the actual asset that backs it, then you're using options for what they're supposed to be used for, as a hedging device. They're supposed to be used as a means of like, if you're a millionaire and then you have like millions and 10,000 share blocks, then yeah, it makes sense to have some options so that you could, you know, execute them if something weird happens. But really, like, now you could just get the options, not bother with the stocks, and gamble away all your fucking money like a degenerate. Way more fun than gambling on sports.
Gambling.
Yeah. Way more fun.
It's
Way more
interesting. It's probably concerning, but it's also interesting how much different forms of gambling have become culturally dominant. This is a very common take about sports gambling being advertised everywhere.
Well, Carmen, as you've learned about me by now, I'm very old school. So even when it comes to gambling, I like the tried and true methods of the stock market.
Yeah.
If I felt like
I thought you were going to say triads. You only gamble on mahjong games in Chinatown.
I guess that's more traditional. Traditional as an American. You know?
Yeah.
I would say the stock market is the most traditional way to gamble away your fucking money like a real man. I mean, that's really that's like, honestly, gambling, sports gambling, like straight up casino shit. That's, when I say degenerate, I don't mean morally like bad. I just mean it's like retarded. Like you got to be, I can't believe people do it. Like even playing lotto, I'm like, come on, dude. You could do better with your money.
Oh, lotto is terrible. A terrible use of your money. Terribly. Though I guess people really do it for the fun. They find it fun or exciting, and getting $50 here or there.
Idiot tax, as a friend once said to me.
A common description of it, yeah. Of money that gets funneled into lotto tickets that, yeah, it's just a tax upon the poor because of there being the only people who buy them.
I'm telling you guys, for all you listening, just stay away from sports gambling. Like,
yes, agreed.
I've never met.
It really seems hugely corrosive in people's lives and ruinous.
I've never met a smart person who's super into sport. It's actually really sad. It's upsetting.
Yeah,
you know, it's one of those things that I think about, and I'll joke about it, but I won't feel good joking about it. You know, like I'll feel like this is something that some of us, like my old friends, are probably ruining their lives as
Yeah,
we speak.
your old friends are uncut gemming their lives.
Carmen, I hope you know not all of my old friends are degenerates like that. You know, a lot of my old friends are actually quite successful and like, you know, living like their fullest lives. But I know you
You're right. That is a surprise to me.
I know you met a lot of old friends that are very like that are dead now. Even,
Yeah.
You know? But trust me, like I do have like also in the equal vein. Remember we talked about it, like how I went to Montessori.
Yeah.
None of my Montessori homies, well, I don't even know they're homies, but none of them turned out into a fuck up. I don't think. I think they all turned out relatively.
Yeah, you
like,
mentioned that before. You're right last time.
there's that, and you know, even from like more recent days, like a lot of my homies are very well off, very, very, very well.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Except the only thing is, my most well off homie, singular, is in a really fucked up
Situation, but yeah.
Yeah, God,
Can you like disclose?
not on the podcast,
Nah,
but I did tell you
we
about
talked
it.
about
We
it.
talked about it
but
at the
can't be
restaurant.
disclosed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
At the restaurant, you know, my guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Exciting inside lore for anyone listening. All the
Yeah.
21 listeners.
yeah, the guy who
Yeah.
the guy.
There's
who,
no point in talking about this guy when you can mention no pertinent details.
I could tell you that he met Trump,
Hmm.
and Trump is like kind of like pertinent in his situation. It's kind of crazy. Yo, that's actually the nutsiest part about all this. It's the Trump connection. I'm not going to get too into it, but I'm just saying, like, that to me, it's like, I could just write this off, and anyone I know would normally write it off. But then
But it is wild, I agree.
when you consider
This
that,
also makes terrible podcast material of saying we can't talk about this directly. We're just referencing something.
someday maybe I can. And it's really like, maybe someday I'll talk about it. But I don't know. No one really cares really at this point. It's the Kushner connection, and the Kushner connection. Kushner was an interesting figure.
Mm.
He was the Jewest of the Jews.
Yeah, he's a real King David.
King
A real
Solomon, more
Moses.
like.
Yeah.
I am more like I'm more like a whatchamacallit, either a Robin Hood figure or like a King Arthur figure. Or no, Lancelot figure. Yeah, Lancelot.
You're gonna fuck your best man's bitch.
Shit. When you put it like that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Lancelot the Bull.
Maybe not Lancelot. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm more like Merlin.
Maybe like a Percival, noble of heart.
I'm not noble of heart. I'm pretty vicious when I feel like it, I guess. But which is not often, because you know I definitely try to be as restrained as possible. I mean, I don't like to compare myself with people when it comes to criticizing myself, but like I think I have a pretty good handle on things compared to some people I've seen. I mean, I've seen a lot of people fly off the handle.
Very true.
Like I've seen people fly off the handle over very little shit, like small things. And I'll be honest, the recent times I flew off the handle, it wasn't because I had to or felt I had to. It's because I fucking wanted to, which is honestly worse. Like it's worse to know that you know you would
lose
get
control of yourself, but also you get older, so
but it feels worse to know that you had like you just did it like because you felt
wanted
like
it. Yeah. I don't know. Your emotions are complex and strange that way.
But I think generally for the most part, like if there was a spectrum of good and evil, like a scale, I think I lean slightly more towards the good side, like you know, like chaotic good or something. I just don't like, you know, things that impede people's ability to choose what to be good or bad. If we can't handle that, you know, ability in everyone else, it's like, well, what good are we then as individuals? Like if we can't be people that give other people the freedom to be good or bad, then what good are we really at the end of the day? A lot of people want to stamp out the whole option to be bad at all. And I don't agree with that. I think people like have to have the freedom to choose to be good or bad. And that involves, doing some bad things in that exploration, you know?
Yes, also all previous attempts to do that to people were disastrous. To stamp out the evil within men's hearts.
Well, we're getting closer. That's the problem, isn't it? Like the fact that China could have a social credit system, the fact that fucking
China's social credit system sounds spooky, but it's for the most part pretty similar to like a credit score.
First of all, let's be real. The world, like as long as the world is digital, we have a social credit system deployed on a global scale. Like social media, like getting canceled, that's just it's just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah, it's just putting an exact number to something that always existed, but it was more loose and social.
And now it's
focused.
more concentrated and more injected, like a direct
Yeah.
fuel injection system into a combustive engine, speeding it up, accelerating. Nick Land was right. God damn it, fucking A.
Yeah, all roads lead to Nick Land being correct.
Yep.
It's pretty true.
This is the part of the podcast where we get really deep because we're like a few drinks in. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about accelerationism. Let's talk about how we're getting into the point of pent up release, which is, it sounds cathartic.
Ejaculatory.
It sounds cathartic and ejaculatory, but it's really violent and messy. It's not going to be good. So the gist is this: like our whole media window, like overton window of like the things we feel strongly about, it moves in a cycle. First, we get upset about war. Then we get upset about poverty. Then we get upset about civil rights of some kind. Then we get upset over something else, and the cycle repeats. And that's fine. If it works, it works. I wouldn't even have a problem with that. Whatever. But the problem is the cycle gets faster and faster and faster and faster as information moves faster and faster. And you would think, what's wrong with that? Well, the human mind is not built to take in infinite amounts of information. We have a cap. Our intellect, our cognitive capacity has a cap, physically at least. We're not supposed to like be able to process so much information at a certain point. And yeah, we're trying to mitigate it in different ways, but really, like when it comes to the news cycle, that's just making you guys retarded. It's just
It
making
really is. It makes
Yeah.
people depressed and retarded. And you only have a limited amount of time in your life, and the news will always be there tomorrow.
And when it's taking up so much of your life and you're not even living your life anymore,
Yeah.
always looking at something that's always going to be there tomorrow, like what then? It's like
So many people are consumed by following the discourse.
yeah, and even when you're not watching it, you're like talking to people about it. Like that's even more fucked up.
Yeah, it just colonizes your entire life.
Yeah.
And it ruins friendships over nothing.
This is why this I'm not going to like say
This is why you should be apolitical. It's a spiritual good to be apolitical.
yeah, and this is why I like this podcast so much because once I talk about all this shit here, like after outside, like I'm not going to talk about this shit ever again probably. Like what I go to sword class, have drinks with my buds. What's the point? There's no need to talk about
And
it.
you have drinks with your buds and you ask them, yo, so who's the most attractive Jewess?
And then you have the answer already locked and loaded because you already went over this with your intellectual counsel. You're like, yep.
Yeah, you came pre-prepared to this argument about Jewish women.
It's like, listen, I've already went through the list. Yes, there is a list. And first of all, there's going to be names that are just going to be obvious to you, like Natalie Portman, duh. Scarlett Johansson, duh. But then there's going to be the less obvious ones, like Kat Dennings. And
That's a pretty common one.
what about Ava? What's her face?
Green.
Ava Green.
Very common one, at least online.
Winona
Normally. What?
Ryder.
Winona Ryder, you have to be a bit older, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but we'll all agree here that
Mhm.
Gal Gadot should not be the top spot. She
No.
should not be
No,
number
she's
one.
very flat and robotic and boring to me.
I think she would deserve the number one spot if she actually killed people, which she might have, maybe.
No,
Just
she
like
was
basic
just in
training on
media. In the IDF, she was just in like a PR media role.
So she wasn't a real deal warrior.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think there are real deal female Jewish warriors? And
No, I think a lot of it's propaganda stuff. Like they're rarely in combat for the best.
yeah, they're too serious about war to let women
Mhm.
fight
Look
it.
look at the Ukrainians in combat. The women that have in combat. It's fucking sad.
Are there really that many?
There's some, but I guess I've seen the
Very few.
videos. Like
Oh,
it
okay.
exploded. It's fucking depressing.
Yeah.
You know what sucks too? Like, remember what that thing you said, like that post you made about how like if before we go to a shooting war in China, let's enlist so that we could be squatted up together.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say that was the case, and let's say the three of us we're in a firing squad together.
Yeah.
a fire.
I mean, they
team.
don't allow that anymore. It's not like in the Civil War.
You're right, but I'm just saying by some fluke it happened.
Yeah.
and we happen to have a female by some fucked up.
Yeah, we're all gonna fuck her. Yeah.
No. No, I mean, like, wouldn't you feel a sense of like, Like,
Yeah, I think this is an issue Israelis had, where they tried women in combat positions and guys would risk themselves way too much.
I was gonna say, it's like you want to look
Literally.
at, it's like, yeah, she's like my little sister, you know, she's a part of the team. But in reality, it's stupid. You don't want that fucking sensibility in war. You don't want
Yeah.
anything like that in war. It's
Guys
like-
are too busy simping in warfare to shoot Palestinian children.
and we may say it's not simping, bro. She's like my little sister, but really, it's like that's what it is, man.
Yeah,
Like,
they
you're
wanna
putting
fuck.
yourself and your whole team in danger just because there's a girl on the squad.
No pussy on the battlefield.
Yo, but it's just like gaming, right? You know, like you're in these like Call of Duty matches, and you're in a
and
clan.
yeah,
And
you're
there's
all
a-
just gonna harass the.
And then a girl joins the clan, and you're like, oh, it's gonna fuck up the whole dynamic. And then she's like, hey guys, yeah. And you have no idea. For all you know, she could just be like this fat turd,
Mm?
but she sounds like super cute because she has a super hot voice. And she's like, yeah, guys, let's game. Tee. But yeah, in war, man, it's definitely like that in the police forces. I definitely see some cute lady cops. So it's definitely that sense of like,
Yeah,
simping.
Mrs. Officer or Miss Officer, Mrs. Officer.
But that's classic. Like lady cops have been a staple in America for a while.
Yeah.
However, I will say now it's probably even more because, like, you know, a 30-year-old cop back in the 80s does not look like a neotenous fucking 30-year-old cop now. Like you see
Yeah.
some of these fucking NYPD chicas.
Well, a bunch of the NYPD Latinas are like these hard asses. They like spray paint on their pants. The huge asses and these tight pants.
they're so sexy, bro. I'd fuck this shit up.
Remember when
Yeah, I would
Remember
love-
when you were tagging and got stopped by those cops? We were with Georgie.
Oh my god,
You
you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we got stopped by that
Georgie got arrested?
Latino. Yeah, got stopped by that Latino Tom Cruise looking cop. That girl with woman.
You were
said-
like, you were looking at it, he fucked her. Like, you were like,
No, she said you're too hot to be a cop. And I was like, fucking don't say that to him. Instead, he just said, yeah, when my underwear modeling career fell through, I joined the force. And then
She
there was
said
like angry short Dominicana cop showed up, and she had like a great ass.
She wasn't as hot as the other
yeah, no, she was so bitchy looking too.
That's a good story.
Yeah, that was a good story.
I wish
yeah.
I remembered what those lady cops look like. But I bet the guy, the ringleader cop, was like, "Yo, you ladies want to have some fun?" You know, and,
I think a lot of lady cops only fuck cops, soldiers, and firemen.
and just like how guy cops only fuck like nurses, because they're the only ones that work the same hours. A and B, like they're the only ones who get the emergency
Yeah.
service life. You know.
Yeah, I remember the Tom Cruise looking Cruise spelled Cruz. He approached us, and I saw his shirt was bulging. I thought he's wearing a bulletproof vest. Was my first
It's like,
thought.
nah,
I
it's
saw it,
just
and I was like,
man titties.
no, I saw it. I immediately thought he's wearing a bulletproof vest. He's an undercover cop, and immediately we were swarmed by police cars, undercover police cars, and they all had tiny rims, which is something my dad told me as a kid, that undercover cops always have tiny rims on their cars. And it sounded like just boomer nonsense.
It's real.
But then I saw it and I was like, wow, it's real.
But this is all over one little tag, by the way.
Yeah.
Wait, was it marker or spray? I think it was,
It was spray.
Yeah.
You dropped the can right before when they were approaching and it rolled away and they couldn't find it.
That was amazing.
And you were saying like, "Yo, he's an established graffiti artist.
I'm just his
I'm his
producer."
promoter, his
Yeah.
producer."
Yeah.
You had this whole spiel you went into. Yeah.
And it worked.
For us, not. They were just focusing on Georgie.
Yeah,
Right,
because we saw
open-
him actually doing it. You know,
and he had an open warrant and all that. Yeah.
that was fucked. That boy, rest in peace.
Mhm.
See, this is now that was like a taste of like my whole life, basically. You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, because I had a lot of Georgies in my life, a few. You know,
Mm.
like a lot of them are dead, and yeah, it's But again, not all my friends were like that. Some of them
Yeah.
went on to start their own businesses. That's why.
Yeah,
they
you
taught
can
me.
start telling by 30 probably which way people are going to end up.
I'm great. That's why you see. This
Yeah,
is why.
that's why you're gratitude.
This is why I'm very gratitude. This is why I'm very gratitude.
This is a shirt merch suggestion. Is a shirt saying "I am gratitude."
Yo, Richie, you want to help us design merch?
Sure.
Don't forget to speak into the mic when you speak.
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't mind to.
Yeah.
I just want you to know it's like it's not just the three of us in the room. There is one invisible person watching at all times. And we gotta acknowledge them. I know it sounds psychotic, but it's true. Like
That's very reasonable to say.
That's the only way I make it work. Like that's how I train myself to like podcast. I was like, there's a third person in the room that can't speak, but they're watching us and they're saying and they're seeing everything we're saying. And I try to respect that person. I think that's why the podcast doesn't piss anyone. I mean, it's one thing to like not be seen by thousands or hundreds but it's one thing to like not have too many comments that are like, fuck these guys. I know they should just quit, because we don't get that. So it's like, clearly we're not doing anything. We may not be doing anything right, but we're definitely not doing anything wrong. You know what I mean? That's a good position.
I think the more attention you get, the more you get guys like that, I think. But yes.
Yeah, I think we're in a good position. So this is the best position to be in. This is why it's the perfect time to get Richie in. It's also the perfect time to talk about Centauri. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to talk about Centauri with you. But yeah, this was the perfect time to get Richie in.
I agree.
And especially because he gave us a ton of good footage and that I'm definitely...
A lot of good interaction with video throughout.
I'm going to splice it into this episode. That we had a lot of good talks, It's a lot of good material, man.
How are we doing on time?
1:40 almost.
Yeah, so
I think with the additional footage, we're good to go.
No. Let's just go at least a full 2.
Okay.
Because that's fine. Because usually, like, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. I don't usually have this much fun.
Okay, fair.
Richie, I hope you could do this again with us more often.
I'd love to.
Yeah. I'll specifically make it worth your while. All right, every time.
Thank you.
I'll take you to. I'll get you drinks. I'll get you food, or we could take you to a happy ending massage parlor and. I'll get you one of these.
I think that would be a great video series of taking Rich to a massage parlor.
Yo, all right. Let's have him be like the anti-Stav effect, where instead of like fucking him up, we spoil him. Yeah. It's like, Rich, you ever try like Nicaraguan cocaine? You're like, what? And you just do it. It's like, yo, Rich, you ever have like hookers from Russia for like $10,000? Like, what? It's like, yo, Rich, you ever take a ride in a Lamborghini? You're like, what? Let's just put him in these fucking.
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, that'll be funny. That'll be the funniest thing.
You can't like film like a massage parlor, I assume, or something.
No, definitely not. Or even the outside of it.
Or it's like you do challenges. It's like I bet you can't like the challenge is like to get a B-list or a C-list celebrity to like suck your dick, but then right at the moment it's like, wait, instead of me, you got to do Rich instead.
The long-term goal of the podcast
to get Natalie Portman to suck Richie's.
to just get any woman to have sex with Richie. That's the goal of Terrorisk. Terrorisk is about getting Richie laid.
Are you serious?
What?
That's not even a challenge for me. I could do that. I could do that probably in like a week. Give me a week. I could do that. I can make that happen.
Hell yeah,
fun
dude.
Segment to talk about. Yeah,
I could get Richie laid in a week for sure. It's just, I mean, it's getting laid is like. That's easy. It's just dealing with the baggage before and afterwards.
Yeah,
when I say
true.
before, I meant the prep work.
Yeah.
And I know like people think this is going to sound contrived, but it's true. You got to pick the right day. It's all timing. You pick the right day to go out. You pick the right outfit to put on. You pick the right cologne to wear. You pick the right hairdo. You pick the right everything, the right weather. Like you pick the right music that you listen to beforehand. You pick the right hour to go to sleep before. It's like like there's just. I'm not saying you could guarantee getting laid. I'm just saying there's just some days where you could really increase your odds. You know what I mean? Like there's just, and that's a given. That's for anybody, whether you're a guy or a girl, like anybody could do that. And from there, it's just not being a dick. But I guess that's a form of like, that's a degree of self-control that you kind of have to like get to, or you're blessed with. Some people are blessed with it. Some people learn it. Some people have to fight for it. Some people have to cheat their way through it. Like whatever the case may be, it's like, yeah, you're kind of just working odds at that point. I mean, you've always been a snappy dresser. Where do you get your tastes from?
It's something I cultivate over time, but a lot of it's relatively intuitive at this time, going off of what feels right on me or feels like it looks okay. I do a lot of color coordination where I wear 2 complementary colors.
I like that. I like
most of my outfits end up being 2 complementary colors.
I like conceptual ideas to fashion like that,
Yeah.
Like for example, when I have to match like a top and a bottom, I try to do it, or like accessories too, like belts and whatnot and ties. I like to do it in a way where it doesn't violate like the red and blue spectrum. Like if I'm wearing stuff that fits into the blue spectrum, I don't want to violate that. If I'm wearing stuff that fits more into like the reddish brownish spectrum, like I don't want to like invade it with a blue or something. And that's kind of like how I work off of like balance in terms of that kind of thing.
Yeah, you go.
Sorry. What are you saying about I don't know? Wait, you said I don't know?
I know what you mean. All right, I know how you dress like that. You're keeping within a certain
you
color perimeter. Yeah.
I like timeless shit too. Like, you know, generally when it comes to stuff I wear, I like stuff that's timeless.
So give me like a fashion inspiration for Richie to pull up, Chris. Do you have people that you look
for
at?
Richie? I don't know. Richie, what kind of mood would you want to project? You know, like depends on your
Well,
mood.
Richie's has done a lot with his style as of late, just to compliment the guy not on camera. But
Okay, here's what every guy needs, I think.
Yeah.
Every guy needs 2 pairs of real shoes, like real actual leather shoes. One brown, one black. Okay?
Mhm.
And then 2 belts, one brown, one black. As far as pants, you want a wide collection anywhere between like off-white all the way to black. You know, and they could be like slacks. Like slacks are really good. I like skinny slacks from Express. Like they're like skinny jeans. I wear skinny jeans. You could not all guys like.
you have a very trim figure too.
Yeah,
You're very
so-
slight. You're very petite.
Yeah, so I
So
get
it
like
fits you
skinny,
very well.
I get skinny chinos or skinny slacks
Yeah.
or some shit, and then I'll get like a dress shirt, like a business casual dress shirt. And what I like about Express is like because I like their shirt, that one shirt, but they'll offer that same shirt in the whole fucking
Color spectrum, yeah.
and like
And it fits you very well, I know.
and I like the pants, you know.
Yeah.
So there's that, and that's very basic shit. You know, that's very like form fitting. But what you're really going by is like colors. You know, you're going by like fit and color, and if it as long as it doesn't fit like shit, as in it's not too big and it doesn't look too small, it has to fit nice. Then there's that, and
Yeah.
it just helps if you're skinny. You know, it's like if so
Naturally, everything does, but yeah,
losing weight kind of does
a lot to help with it.
everything. Yeah, not even losing weight. Some people have to gain weight. You know, like
That's true.
it's
Yeah, the right
not like
balance,
one
yeah.
way or the other. It's every it's there's that. But then as far as like what you wear, it's base. I say start with the basic necessities and get the nice basics, and then everything on top of that could be shitty. Like you get fucked up stupid hoodies, you get fucked up stupid jackets and all that shit. But make it so your pants, your shirts, and your undershirts, and your underwear and your socks, they're good quality. Make that good quality, and then everything you put on top of like start from like inside out as far as quality goes.
Yes, it's true. Your like underwear, undershirts should be of a good quality, and then you can have cheaper materials on the outside.
Yes. And then work your way out. If you want nicer jackets, you can get nicer jackets. But first, you should start with like undershirts, shirts, pants, underwear, socks, belts, accessories. Accessories are important because accessories are really, that's what makes your shit serious. You know, otherwise you're just wearing clothes. But when you add like cufflinks or like a tie clip or like a fucking, you know.
Yeah, it can really touch up, particularly if you're using a lot of simple designs other ways.
And another underrated factor is cologne, scents. You know, I'm sure women are first of all, everything I'm talking about, I just want to say women are like 10 times better at 100%. Women
often, yeah.
Women are just way more in tune with this shit. But I know a few, cause I know a bit because I was raised by women essentially for like a big chunk of my childhood, and they've like forcefully educated me on this shit. But yeah, scents, colognes are a big thing. Basically, pick one cologne you like that works in day and night. And then you get variety. Then you get something that works more for
Colognes I never got into, and I really ought to. Probably would elevate me.
Try it.
Yeah, I should.
It's good. Yeah, dude, it's worth it. It's really worth it. It adds a dimension to your shtick.
Yeah, to my character.
We got about 5 minutes left. Don't worry.
I know. I'm very tired. Is the big factor.
Yeah, we're talking about an interesting thing though.
I know. Both Rich and I are falling asleep. That's all. But yeah.
So Richie.
Yeah.
Do you even care about like clothes? I mean, because everyone does eventually, whether they're 30, 20, 19, or 60. Everyone, and I think they're all valid. I think like you're allowed to be a person who doesn't give a fuck about this shit until you're like 60 and you have suddenly something changes. You know, like something suddenly shifts in you where you're like, I care. I want to try things. You know, I want to try things. It's not about I need this. It's about I want to fuck around and see what I could pull off.
Sure.
You know, and if you care about that stuff, I would just say like start with the basics. Start inside out, like underwear, socks, undershit, then like high quality t-shirts and whatever, then shirts and accessories. And also don't underestimate
Rich has
cologne.
been doing a lot of focusing on his wardrobe lately, I've noticed.
What kind of? Make sure things fit properly.
Yeah, almost
I try to
regardless
like a
of your
solid color
size.
usually.
Regardless of your size, you can actually almost always get properly fitting clothing. You have to be very, very obese for that not to work.
Yeah, but
Right.
usually what really you're right. I don't disagree with anything.
There
but-
used to be well-dressed fat guys. There aren't anymore. But
no, but what I'm saying is like it's usually the details that matter, right?
Yeah.
That's what women notice at least.
Mhm.
They always look out for details. Like when they look for fake shit, they look for the details. They're like, so when you wear like a tie clip, because any guy could put a shirt and a tie on, but when you actually take the extra effort to put on like a clip to put it down, or cufflinks, that's another thing.
yeah,
Or like
the
the
French cuff. Yeah,
like the garters like that keep your shirt. So you don't have to- I
shirt stays.
yeah I use those too. I use shirt stays. I use the thigh ones. Like they
Yeah, the
strap.
sock garters.
Yeah, and then
I
the-
have both of those.
No,
yeah.
I don't like the sock ones because they extend all the way down to your leg. I have one that elastic one that goes around your thigh and it just clips to the bottom of your shirt, so it like pulls on it.
Yeah, I have like those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So these things they sound stupid, but they actually make a difference. 'cause
yeah, it
it-
keeps it trim.
it's like
form-fitting.
it's detailing your body pretty much, like as if you would
You're
detail
taking
a
your
car.
body to the detail shop. Yeah.
So yeah, when you use like things like that, and Richard, did you even know thing like that exists where you strap something to your legs that keeps your shirt?
No, I
Like,
did not think about that at all.
I'm saying like these things matter. And it's like also another thing. So we talked about cologne, we talked about the shirt stays, we talked about the belts. The two, you just need two of each. You don't need like an infinite belt collection. You just need a brown one, a black one, and shoes, a brown pair and a black pair. That's it. And pants that you could kind of like get more of. You definitely want a lot of like nice underwear. You definitely want a lot of nice undershirts, and cologne. That was underrated. Also a watch. Not a nice watch. You don't need like a $10,000 fucking watch. You need a working man's watch, like either silver, leather. You got to pick your poison. Some guys like leather. I think you'd be good with leather.
I like Casio's.
Casio's
That
nice.
fits you very well.
Yeah.
Like a 80s digital watch.
You know what else I think you would like? You ever heard of Citizen?
No, I have not.
You ever see
the
it
app
though?
for crime reporting?
No, Citizen brand watches. That's like Japanese. I didn't even know that. I thought it was just like some like third-rate American shit, but apparently not. These are like this company was from like Japan and whatever. And it's not even expensive. They're like 100, 150 bucks a watch. Like,
Show the Casios you like, Rich.
Oh, it's the Terrorisk watch.
Yeah, the classic. You familiar with this, Chris? The Casio Terrorist watch?
Terrorisk.
Yeah.
It's cheap. It's affordable.
Yeah, was it F9 one?
Yeah.
F91?
What is this? What they put all strap on the C4 vests and everything?
Look,
It's like-
bring up, show up. Yeah, yes, actually, literally, yes.
Which one, Carl?
That one, with the guy. Timepiece of terrorism.
Rich, this is incredibly good taste on your part, I must say.
Oh, it's
What?
simple, yeah.
No, Rich has really great taste. Yeah, that's a great watch, and it's a great fit for you. Do you have one?
I have like one in clear, yeah. Find it.
Timepiece of terrorism.
So when it comes to t-shirts, I think the best brand is Calvin Klein. Definitely go for Calvin Klein t-shirts. They just make the best shit. Best accessible shit.
Yeah.
If you wanted to be a dickhead, you could get like, I don't know, fucking like an Hermes handkerchief down to the undershirts and the socks to match. Some
Oh,
crazy
Jesus.
shit, like, Fashion. I don't really like fashion. I like style. So, but I like quality. And that's why I have to give it up to some of these brands. Like Casio is a fucking, in terms of quality, fantastic. I just like good quality, like something that if I know if I take care of it, it'll last me for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's my go-to shit. And as far as what looks nice, I'm still exploring. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about what actually looks nice on me. I'm always changing my shit though. I never really look the same, probably.
Oh,
But I think it's like, I learned to make less external changes and more of the internal changes. Like the more internal you go with your changes, like the more your style becomes like complex, I think, and more dimensional than just like clothes you wear or something. Because you get more of an idea of like the energy you want to project, not just the look you want to go for, So you start thinking more about like, I don't know, not me personally, but the new agers and the hippies are like, oh, I want to wear red today because I'm feeling this emotional energy. And I'm like, all right, girl, you do that. But I don't know. Would you say my Asian influence has influenced your style?
Sure. I think separately. I like more outlandish Asian things than you. I like more. Well, no, I actually know. I'm influenced by you wearing a Haori. That's one thing that led to me buying one.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Yo, how about this? I'm thinking about making like a team one, like a Terrorisk one.
Yeah, Haori, I would wear that. Yeah.
So I could do it in a stupid way where it's like written big in the back, or I could do it like subtle, like like
Subtle.
subtle.
Yeah.
on the arm.
Yeah.
You're right. Those would be good though. I'll have them made.
Yeah.
Cause like I think that's gonna
Haoris are actually a great merch fashion idea. I guess people just won't buy them normally, but yeah.
Well, I think it looks. The thing about those things,
Yeah.
because they're not traditional Haori. They're what I know
Modern.
yeah, you're
they're
talking about like some.
Harajuku.
Yeah, but they would look good on anyone. That's
Yeah.
the thing about them, right? They're just like excellent, and they're cheap, like $20 a pop.
Really?
Yeah, on Amazon.
Just don't get the Demon Slayer ones, even though they have a nice design because they're coming from a anime. But
No, I mean, I think it's like one thing to like wear it in the traditional ones, which will cost you a lot more, and they have these like crazy stitching patterns and
Yeah.
all that shit. Like,
the modern fast fashion Haoris are very reasonable. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, anyone could throw it
Yeah.
on before you go outside, or like
Yeah.
wear it in the summer. It's like you're shirtless in the beach. It's like it's a little windy. Just throw one of those on,
Yeah.
Anyone could wear it. That's what I'm saying. It would look good on anyone. That's why I think they're so good. But they haven't caught on. And maybe I'm supposed to like spread it. Like maybe I'm just supposed to show people like, yo, you gotta try these fucking.
People might still be hung up and worried that it's racist to wear one.
No, I think it's just because it's hard to look up. You're like, what do I even type in to find that? They might think I got it from a specialty store or something, but they don't understand. It's like, yo, you could just Temu this shit.
Well,
And that's up to
a
people's-
lot more expensive now. But yeah.
And that's up to people's creativity with words, right? They're looking up on
Richie,
the internet.
look up Timu Haori.
No, don't look up Temu Haori. Go to Amazon
Amazon.com.
on the browser. Yeah.
No, go to Amazon River on Google
That's
Maps.
No. Amazon River. I don't even know what that is. It sounds like some crazy shit.
In Latin America.
In Latin America. Yo, just type in Amazon and don't even like. Yeah.
What are you doing?
I
Yeah.
typed in the
All right,
search
all
one.
right. Look up.
Haori.
No, that's not what you type in. Look up kimono, like modern kimono jacket shirt. Actually, modern kimono shirt. Yeah, there you go. All right, so go down. It's like these things.
These are all like polyester ones. Yeah, I
Not
like
all
that
of them.
look. But I like that look though.
Yeah, these aren't even real kimono.
Yeah.
These is just a word that a white person would use.
Well, that's what girls
like
would use.
if they see it in real life, they're like, "What
Look
is
up
that?"
Haori.
How do you spell it?
No, you're not typing. You're not typing. You didn't. You deselected. Haori. Man, yeah,
The same shit, basically.
yeah, but it narrows it down to what you're looking for.
You're right. It eliminates the real kimono dress stuff. Yeah, so this is basically where I got it from. I was like, I just go to Amazon and get the most like shit that
Hey, that's
most basic looking one.
simple.
Yeah.
Yo, so Richie, I was
Wait,
thinking
click
it's
on
like-
that one, the cardigan one.
So Richie, I was gonna get some of these made for the team, and I was like, should I get it where the Terrorisk is like big in the back, or just like subtle on the arm? Like where
So,
just
you
that's what Carmen said too.
Yeah, was that a lung on the arm or like a koi? It's a lung.
Dragon.
Yeah, a
such a
Chinese
fucking-
dragon is called a lung.
I think it is.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah,
Different
that's our
colors,
shopping.
yeah.
Show me the velvet one with scroll work.
Next one.
Ooh, the cranes are a nice touch.
Mhm.
Embroidered cranes, like full on embroidered cranes. Stitched pockets, some of them with ties. See, this is good shit. This is like Temu quality, but good shit. you know?
Well, cotton polyester is the same thing as Timu, actually. But yeah,
My shit lasted. Well, that I didn't rip myself, but yeah, these are
Yeah.
actually pretty durable.
I'm sure it varies. I'm sure at various times the quality is much higher on some of these than
Damn,
others.
you remind like shopping like this reminds me. I want to collect these. Like I want to get a bunch because
Yeah.
they just work. Like especially for summer.
Yeah, it's a great summer top to put on.
Hell yeah. And imagine if you and me start wearing these and everyone starts wearing these. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I like the different patterns, like plaid,
Yeah, I do too.
quilted.
I like the different.
I like this one.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
And they're cheap. Like I'm telling you, they're not like you try to find shit for this price at like
4.1, so this is probably pretty cheap, but you can find other cheap ones that are probably much better quality. But the design's really nice.
or you can find ones for like lesser quality, but the designs like that are more flashy, and you're like, this is good for a party. You know, like you're like,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Wait, go back.
Also, if your whole squad is rocking these,
Go back
like,
again.
That's even that adds like plus 10 aura.
Scroll up. Scroll
Straight
up.
up. It's like if it's you and your whole squad just wearing these fucking things, and you're like, yeah, we're pulling up to the function. It was crazy shit. It's always a good time.
Let me see. Scroll down slightly. Wait. Go up. Hold. Do the far right one. I want to see what that's like. Yeah.
You want to show the people what we're dealing with?
Oh yeah.
You
yeah.
think they deserve it? You think they deserve to know? All right, this is what we're shopping for. People are like, I want to know.
Yeah, this whole time, really. Okay, linen. Oh, this is if it's linen cotton, it's actually that. That's
High
actually
quality.
a good. Yeah,
but they
well,
don't have a tie. That's what I don't like. It doesn't have a string to like tie it
You can
together.
put a tie on. Show me that red one down there. Down
Oh
row, in
wait,
the
some of them
middle.
do have it. Yeah.
In the middle. Yeah.
Oh shit, some of them they come in different like patterns and everything. It's pretty sick.
Let me see details on those. Scroll up. Sorry, I should probably just grab them.
Enhance.
Enhance. Yo, machine wash. That's good for
They're all
lazy
machine
guys.
wa- I never
Show me the good photos.
Yo, but if you machine wash them, they shrink. That's why I
Mm.
just get them dry cleaned.
Mm.
But if you have a bunch, you don't have to wear them that often.
Yeah, that's true.
Just hand wash one time.
Yeah.
I would collect these. This is what I was just telling Carmen. I was like, I want to collect these. You know, I want to get like a shit ton of these.
Yeah, these are a great look.
And it's like if you have a girl over, you could just like, you just like here, throw this on. You know?
Yeah.
And then take pictures of her and save it because you're not a creep, but you just like it for posterity's sake. You're like, You're like, she would wear nothing but this, and then I'll take a little Polaroid picture and I'll keep it in my special binder. Kimono for men, and you see this white angle of this wasp.
Yeah, the person should be wearing it.
Hell yeah! He's like, it looks better on me anyway, don't you think? And he's like winking at the camera.
He's whiting at the camera.
Yo, this is the good. This is the best.
Look, here's
at
Asia is great.
bro.
The
Look
one
at,
here's Asian at all. It's great.
yo, I bet they purposely got no Asians. They were like, see, this is good for everyone.
You're right. They definitely got everyone. There's me on the right with the Greek, Ahari.
With the white Anglo-Saxon look, he's like chiseled jaw. This is a good look, man. Rich, you got to get one of these too, man.
I think that would go pretty hard.
Yeah, this would be a great style on you.
Yo,
What's the second from the left at the bottom row?
yo, let's do this all summer, bro. Let's be these guys. Let's just do it. Let's go everywhere.
Second from the left. Well, that's good too, but yeah, that one.
We'll meet up. I'll be like, yo.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
I like the green. Yeah,
You'll be like, I'll be like, yours.
Show
looks-
detail photos. Show the various photos.
Let me see the back. Yeah. Oh, nice. It's literally a jacket. It's pretty sick.
For all of these, you should scroll through the photos.
This is also good for when you're at the beach. You know, you just
yeah.
or when you're at a poolside. I'm telling you guys, this is good shit.
No, this definitely inspired me to get one.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's.
No, I mean I already got one because of you.
Oh, well, Rich, you got to get one now too.
Yeah, I like this green. I like this green. It's nice. That dark blue is also very nice.
I want to get one custom made though, for real. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a couple custom made so we could all rock it. I mean, what better? Because t-shirts are t-shirts, whatever, and
No, if you can get them made cheap, it's a very unique thing to have.
yeah, let's do it. Terrorisk Kaori. Imagine if I wore it one day to a tournament and they're like, "What's that?" I don't know, but it's terrifying. It's Terrorisk, motherfucker.
You wear like one of those Cuban suits underneath it, like with like the not mesh. No, put it in Amazon.
What I really want to do, I just want to wear one of these with a tank top, shorts, and
Cuban
sandals.
shirt.
wanna
You're
go-
not typing.
This, you know what I think this is? This is like better than Hawaiian shirts. You know,
Yeah,
it's like the better, or yeah, it is the better Hawaiian shirt.
wear it with a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that too, but I didn't know if I should go that far.
Yeah, you get one of these combos and you put a Haori over it.
Smoke a cigar.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
The knit short sleeve shirt. Yeah.
And a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Richie, I'm telling you, man, you got to get one, bro.
I'll probably get one. I'll probably get one now. Yeah.
Because I was just saying to Carmen, they also look good on anyone.
Yeah, they
Like,
do.
You could be anyone, and they would look good on you. Like,
I get Zoot suit off Amazon.
zoot suit.
Yeah.
We don't really zoots. That one is the costume one, sorry. But yeah, there.
What I don't like about zoot suits is, well,
As for Mexicans.
it's also I don't like suits in general because they're like so restrictive. But I respect the suit. I do. Because I like business casual, you know. Because the reason why I like business casual is you can wear it to work and you can wear it to club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you think shopping for clothes on Amazon is superior to Temu?
Yeah, but Timu, you can get things very cheap, but you're going to have to return a bunch of things. So they'll be the wrong size or something.
Does Temu take returns even like regular?
Yes, they do. It's part of the business model, actually. Yeah. We're assuming that it'll be too cheap for people to want to return it.
Temu's fucking insane, dogs.
Yeah, it is, and I'm sure the price of everything has gone up massively. All your chances to buy swastika knickknacks off of Temu have disappeared due to Trump's trade war.
Good. You know why? Because
A lot of terrible shit came out of it and flooded the market.
the truth is, I'm all about making and producing my own shit.
Yeah,
Like, if they won't let me make swastika sweaters, and I really
Yeah,
wanted to make
just
swastika sweaters, which I don't.
Like Kanye.
By the way, full disclosure, I do not want to make swastika sweaters. However, if I did want to, I wouldn't rely on some fucking third party company. What the fuck do you think this is? No,
Yeah, you'll be hand knitting them.
no, I would just get a screen printing machine.
Mm.
First of all, they can't stop me from screen printing my own shirts. Nobody can. And that's
Yeah.
what people, I hate that. It's like, I'm not a craftsman by any means. I'm not a guy out there chopping down trees so I
Yeah.
can carve away shit. I'm not saying we have to go that far. I'm just saying the average person is fucking forgetting their own creative agency. We're forgetting the tools that are actually at our disposal. I'm specifically talking about you fucking fools who are just stuck to your fucking smartphones all day instead of at least computing on a computer. You know,
Yeah, there's a
no-
lot to be said for using a computer as opposed to a smartphone. There's less distraction involved.
I don't even care if it's a laptop at this point. Like, at least just do some of this shit on a fucking computer. I'm telling you, because I'd rather people spend time on a laptop not knowing why they want to spend time on a laptop, but just getting it and then just doing it, and then they're like, okay, and then I could go on Facebook on my phone, or I could go on Facebook on my laptop. Go do it on your fucking computer, please, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Please do it on your computer. If it's Twitter, do it on your fucking computer.
That's true. It's a lot better overall. Less distracting. Can we close this out, Chris? What are you thinking?
Yeah. And if you're gonna doom scroll, at least multitask. But yeah. Anyway, you got any closing statements, guys?
This is Haori summer. Also, pirate shirt summer, and people should buy sashes for summer.
But Howery is the novel thing, though. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yayoi summer.
All right. What about you, Rich? You got any closing statements?
It's Yayoi summer.
All right. My closing statement is it's Howery summer. And with that, we will bid you guys adieu.
Good night, guys.
Night.